University of Maine hockey, sponsored by the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Bangor. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. The Quirk Boys at Village Subaru, Hogan Road, and Bean and Conquest, the new heartbeat in downtown Bangor. Grant's Dairy, it's gotta be Grant's, naturally. Darling's Auto Parts, Darling's Rebuilding Division, Darling's Nissan, and Darling's Recreational Division. Your Maine Pontiac dealers, we sell excitement. Miller Genuine Draft, cold-filtered draft beer, it's as real as it gets. And your New England Subaru dealers, Subaru, tough cars, easy deals. Bangor. Grant's Dairy, it's gotta be Grant's, naturally. Darling's Auto Parts, Darling's Rebuilding Division, Darling's Nissan, and Darling's Recreational Division. Your Maine Pontiac dealers, we sell excitement. Miller Genuine Draft, cold-filtered draft beer, it's as real as it gets. And your New England Subaru dealers, Subaru, tough cars, easy deals.
Good evening and welcome to the Final Four. The Maine Black Bears about to play their first Final Four game ever against a team that hasn't been there either, Lake Superior State. Those two teams got there by virtue of their wins last week in two-game total goal series. Of course, the Black Bears were at home knocking off Bowling Green, but Lake Superior State had a little bit of trouble with Merrimack. They lost in game one of their series, but came back with a convincing win in game two. So Lake Superior State and Maine will battle it out in game number one of the semifinals of the Final Four. Of course, tomorrow night, the other semifinal game will be played. It'll be Minnesota against St. Lawrence. The two winners of those two games will meet on Saturday night, and that's where our national champion will be determined, and that will be Saturday night at 8 o'clock. The consolation game, the losers from tonight's game and tomorrow night's game, will play on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. So we have 4 games to go. The big one, of course, for the Black Bears is tonight. One game at a time, as Sean Walsh says. It's Maine against Lake Superior State. And when we come back in just a moment, we'll be going live out to Lake Placid, New York, where the final 4 games are being played. Joe Carr is standing by. He'll have a report on Lake Superior. We'll have a close-up look at the Lakers. That all coming up and much more right after this.
I don't want to see my money going up in smoke. That's why I've got a CD at Casco Northern. Their CDs are FDIC insured, and they pay one of the highest rates around. I can get any term I want, from 3 months to 5 years.
A 9-month CD has a current yield of 7.51% at Casco Northern Bank.
Get high rates and FDIC insurance from the bank that's always thinking, Casco Northern.
EBS stocks and sells thousands of building supply products and tools. Each shares a common characteristic. Every one represents the best available quality and value, and each must continually meet that standard or be replaced. Our contractor and do-it-yourselfer customers deserve the best. We have grown and prospered because of your confidence and trust. Our goal is to make our customers 100% satisfied 100% of the time. If ever we miss that goal, please tell us. We'll make things 100% right.
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold-filtered one. Because if you want a beer whose real taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets.
Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, 3 hot new Pontiacs you can buy for under $10,000 at your Maine Pontiac dealers. That's right, under $10,000, but that's not the best part. If you qualify as a first-time buyer, that is, you've never financed a new car before, your Pontiac dealer will give you $600 towards your down payment, $600 towards your new Grand Am, Sunbird, or Le Mans. Sticker price under $10,000, these are 3 of Pontiac's hottest values at your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Welcome to the 1980 rink in Lake Placid, New York, everybody. This is the rink where the Americans beat the Russians, and that Jim Craig, Mike Eruzione team won the gold medal in the 1980 Olympics. And tonight we've got Final Four NCAA action coming to you live on these stations. Maine will be taking on Lake Superior State. Neither one of these teams got here by winning a spot in the raffle. They're great teams. Of the 4 teams in the country who have won 30 games or more and had less than 10 losses, these are 2 of them. The other two are Minnesota and St. Lawrence, and they'll play in tomorrow night's other semifinal with the winners to play for the national championship right here on Saturday night. Maine, of course, led by Mike McHugh and Mike Golden, and of course Scott King in the goal, Dave Capuano, the team's leading scorer, and Jack Capuano on defense. Well, David Capuano and Jack Capuano were just named All-Americans. Congratulations to the brothers from Cranston, Rhode Island, the junior defenseman, and the sophomore forward, David and Jack Capuano, first team Eastern All-Americans. Mike Golden and Mike McHugh forwards on the second team. Scott King, surprisingly enough, shot out of All-American contention this year, but the sophomore from British Columbia will certainly be back there again. There's very little doubt about that. As far as Lake Superior State goes, they're led by Nelson Vermette. He's a Hobie Baker finalist, a great scorer, has over 70 points in the season. Perhaps the most remarkable thing, though, about Vermette, he has 150 penalty minutes. Mike McHugh leads Maine with 82. So Vermette is really a very, very heavily penalized player. Lake Superior, a big physical team. They play a lot of punch and grab, and they get a lot of penalties. 3 players with over 100 penalty minutes on the season. That style of play against Maine in this big rink, a 200 by 100-foot surface, definitely favors the Maine Black Bears. There's a lot of ice room out there, and Maine should be able to use that to their advantage. At the same time, it works directly against what Lake Superior likes to do. Tim Throckmorton now has a look at the Lake Superior Lakers.
Like Maine, Lake Superior State has won more games this season than any other in the history of the program. One reason for their superior season is Mark Vermette. The junior right wing is the player of the year in the CCHA, and he was also a Hobie Baker finalist. He's the first Laker to score over 40 goals in a season.
He's just a funny guy. You know, all I've really had to do with Mark was just help him along mentally and just give him good coaching. And Mark has just self-made himself. He works very, very hard. He's as tough as nails. And he's really had to be disciplined this year because he's been covered and checked a little bit too much sometimes. But he can do a lot of things, especially in the areas of the pit where around the net area where it gets tough.
Frank Anzalone has been named the coach of the year in the CCHA. He won the regular season league title. The teams may be different in that Maine takes a liking to the bigger ice surface in Lake Placid. Lake Superior might like to slow things down.
The best comment I got from a coach that went against them was that they like to turn every game into a half-court basketball game. They like to slow it right down. And that's difficult to do on the big sheet. We're going to do everything we can to create high tempo, just like we did with Bowling Green.
Coach Walsh was at the Final Four in Lake Placid while an assistant at Michigan State. He knows the key is to stay focused on the chore at hand.
I think the big thing we've got to do is focus on ourselves right now and, you know, not concern too much with them or too much with a rink. It seemed the rink lent itself to close games, and it was almost that way in Anchorage this year. The tournament we had out there were very close games, and the championship went into overtime. And it wouldn't surprise me if these games turn into being very close battles. That's the extent the Olympic surface, I think, is going to have. I just think it's different for everybody, and I think that could create a real interesting and close Final Four, which makes it exciting.
We're joined now by Lake Superior coach Frank Anzalone. Coach, first of all, congratulations on making it to the Final Four with this fine young team of yours. How'd you do it?
Well, I think the biggest thing we did this year was we strived for consistency, and I think that was the difference between this team and last year's team. Last year we had 9 seniors, and we thought that might be the year that we could get a little further than normal out of our league, but our people at the end seemed burned out. This year's team is a lot more enthusiastic, and it's being led by all the classes, and we've been able to get the big goals and the big save when we needed them.
It seems the key has been the way your freshmen and young people fit right in somehow, didn't they?
Yeah, it was amazing. We recruited as best we could talent and also a high percentage of character, and we believe in character in our hockey players, and I think that this particular year the players just adjusted very well to what we wanted to do. We made a lot of changes after last year when we were a little bit disappointed in postseason play, and I think the leadership of our seniors, Craig Houston and Terry Hosick, who did not dominate the young people, they just kind of led them, and I think that made the young people feel more important, and they seemed to slide in really well.
Do you see similarities between your programs and Maine's, remote locations, energetic young coaches, things like that?
Well, I think there are some likenesses. I don't think there are as many as people would like to think. You know, we're in a small town sort of like Maine, but, you know, we don't draw quite the number of people to our games, and I think that their program on a parameter with more coaches and things like that is a little bigger. But there are a lot of things that are the same. You know, Sean Walsh and I come out of the CCHA. We're fairly young. We both seem to be fairly aggressive, and we try to coach as hard as we can and prepare our players. And I think from that way, we're the same. And I think the other thing is Sean, says that he's interested in the academic side of his boys, and I certainly am, having graduated all my boys in my 6 years. So there are some great likenesses, and it's just great that both programs have made it this far.
What do you see as the future of your program? Are you trying to change it in any way? What are you doing with your program?
Well, there's really only so many changes you can make. Even though we're at the NCAA 4 and we've made it this far, we still can't recruit in the same breath with Wisconsin and Michigan State and Harvard and things like that. We seem to lose something everywhere, whether it be a touch of academics or the population or size of our school. But for the most part, we're trying to build what we have, build on our strengths. We have a small school, close interaction with professors, and our team has a great sense of camaraderie among each other. We really have great friendships on our club, and we just keep building upon those things.
You must have a good staff, too, as well, to do this. Tell us about the style of play. Sean compared you to Bowling Green. Do you go along with that?
Well, in a sense, we are kind of like Bowling Green. I think that we're a little bit quicker overall. Bowling Green has a few forwards like Nelson Emerson who certainly can keep up with the guys like Perron and people like that. But we're a bigger team. We're physically big up front. We're not as big on defense. Bowling Green is big and a little bit immobile. We're a little bit shorter and mobile. Actually, our defensemen are like Sean's forwards. And our forwards like his defense, the size difference. We like to think that we skate fast. We're not overly quick. The big rink could hurt us a little bit, but if we're on our game, we'll be okay.
Coach, thanks a lot for your time. Again, congratulations, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Lake Superior coach Frank Anzalone. Our coverage of University of Maine hockey at the Final Four continues in 2 minutes.
We're here at the National Space Satellite Dish, where for 3 days in a row, scientists have received messages from deep space. Dr. Gilbert.
At precisely 12 noon, we have received the signal.
And now, as the hour of 12 approaches, we listen for these strange sounds.
It's no mystery where great refreshment comes from. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
You know, recently Bonanza restaurants came to me and said, Monty, we've got steak, chicken, and seafood dinners at great prices. But now we want to give an even better deal. Can you help us? No problem.
Yes, Monty. Now for only $6.99, you can get a complete T-bone dinner that includes the all-you-can-eat Fresh-Tastix food bar, and it's only at Bonanza restaurants.
Bonanza, you got a deal.
12-ounce T-bone dinner, just $6.99 at Bonanza.
We put know-how in your hands, Darling's Auto Parts.
And put savings in your hands with Gabriel shock specials at Darling's Auto Parts. Do it yourself and save. Install Gabriel gas rider shocks for more responsive car handling over ordinary shocks. Now a low $19.99 each at Darling's. For light trucks, RV, or van, get Gabriel gas rider LTs. Limited time offer $29.99 each. Gabriel gas rider shock specials now at Darling's Auto Parts.
Hi, Mommy, I'm home.
Hi, honey, I'm sewing. I left milk and cookies on the table.
I wish I didn't have to eat alone.
You're not alone. I'm here.
You're the TV cow from Grant's. Did you come to see me?
Yep, I enjoy visiting boys and girls who drink fresh, healthful milk from Grant's Dairy. Good milk, isn't it?
Is there someone with you, Christina?
Only the little cow from Grant.
I didn't know I left the TV on.
Maine had a very interesting postseason. It started off on a down note in the Hockey East Final. They lost to Northeastern 4-3 down in Boston, and then they had a long layoff, 11 days before they could play their first playoff game because they skipped the preliminary round. So 6 days ago, it was against Bowling Green they opened their playoffs. Let's take a look back 6 days ago and last Friday night. This is what happened. Maine really broke things open against Bowling Green early Friday night, beating the Falcons 5-1. Vince Gaddotti from Vesey opens the scoring, and he had an excellent night. Here's that replay on that goal. And one of the keys to Maine this year has been the play of Jack Capuano. Look at that shot from the point that just goes screaming in net. And Saturday night, things got still better as the Black Bears ended up the sweep. They won both games, but the total goals ended up 9-4. And the Black Bears, as the fans counted down, were off to their first ever NCAA Final Four. Sean Walsh held his hands up high as quite a climax to this wonderful season. The Black Bears now 33-7-2, and of course Sean Walsh has only been with the Maine University of Maine program for 4 years, and he has quite a year on his hand, and it's not over yet. Of course, Maine tonight playing Lake Superior State. Now let's go back to Lake Placid, New York, and visit with Joe Carr, who has a guest with Eric Weinrich.
Thanks, Tim. Eric, assess the way your team played last week against Bowling Green.
Well, I think we just stuck to our game plan, and you know, it was a pretty basic game plan, but you know, we stuck to it, and I think if you play that way against the great teams, you know, eventually you're going to wear them down, and your game plan's going to come through. And you know, finally, I think we wore them down, and you know, we just started getting breaks, and that was the key to it.
It's interesting you're playing against a similar style team this week. Will that help?
I think if we stick to the basic things, you know, we're not going to get in trouble by, you know, making any turnovers in the bad areas or, you know, making plays that we're not usually making and not often making. You know, we're playing against a great team, and you can't afford to make the little mistakes like, you know, like we did during the year. And I think last weekend we eliminated all those mistakes, and if we do it this game, then we're going to have some success.
What's your attitude about being here? Is this why you came back to Maine, to get this shot?
Yeah, I was hoping that we'd go on like we are now, and you know, it didn't really matter either way. I just wanted to come back, and you know, but I think this is every college player's dream, and you know, for me to come back after the Olympics and play on it, it's just, you know, been like a bonus for me for this whole year.
What are your thoughts about the way your teammates developed when you were away? What have you noticed about how they're different?
I think they're more loose this year, and you know, they feel like, you know, they have a lot of confidence, and I think they have a better relationship with coach this year and, you know, the rest of the coaches, and I think that's really important for a team to do well.
You certainly have the most experience of anybody on the team on the Olympic-size ice surface. What's it mean in this game?
I think the only thing that means is, you know, that might be a little more wide open. There's more room for people to move around, and if there's players who can move well, then, you know, they're going to have a little bit of success. But, you know, any size sheet, I don't think it matters in these games. You know, this is the Final Four, and it doesn't matter.
If you had to pick one teammate who will benefit most from this size ice, who would it be?
Maybe Todd Jenkins or Mario, but, you know, you have to be an exceptional player to play well in any game, so I don't think the ice is going to make much difference.
Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right. Thanks, Eric, and best of luck to you tonight.
Thanks, Joe.
Eric Weinrich played a lot in this 200 by 100 ice surface. It's only 15 feet wider than the Alfond Arena, but many people think it'll make a difference. Right, Tim?
Thanks very much, Joe. I'm sure Eric Weinrich is glad to be back in a Black Bear uniform, too. Joe will be back and talk with Maine Black Bear head coach Sean Walsh when we return right after this.
I'm very realistic. People don't have to buy their insurance from us. They'll buy from us only if we're competitively priced and if we take care of them if they've got a claim. The Bradford Agency is an independent insurance agency representing 8 companies, so we're large enough to take care of your needs. It's important that you feel confident with your insurance agency. You can trust us at the Bradford Agency.
The Bradford Agency, where results and integrity go hand in hand.
Tom Sawyer wants to see a cleaner America. People pitching in to make her shine. It takes a lot of pride to take good care of her. Every highway, lake, and stream is yours and mine. Tom Sawyer wants to see a cleaner America. You can't help but visit.
The best deals ever on wheels are at Darling's Nissan. 88 Nissan four-wheel drive wagon with 5-speed fuel-injected engine, just $10,659 delivered. Nissan Sentra, most trouble-free car in its class. Pickup special, brand new 87 Nissan pickup, 4-speed automatic transmission, only $69.99. Thrill to the drive of a sporty 87 Pulsar. 5-speed transmission, T-top roof starting at $10,754 delivered. Big selection, easy on-the-spot financing mean the best deals on wheels are at Darling's Nissan.
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than a nice cold one is a cold filtered one.
Miller Genuine Draft. Hot, isn't it?
Yeah, if you want a beer whose real taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, we've got it down cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Not all of Sean Walsh's career at the University of Maine has been high points, but this is certainly the pinnacle. A trip to the Final Four. Maine Black Bear coach Sean Walsh standing by right now with Joe Carr. Guys?
Thank you, Tim. Coach Walsh, this has been quite an experience for your team, I'm sure. How are they handling all this attention and everything?
I think it starts to pick up today. I was really happy we got in Tuesday, Joe. There was nobody else in town. And yesterday people started to filter in, and now today you're really seeing a lot of Maine colors and Maine people walking in. And I think the excitement's starting to build. I think the biggest thing now is to remain focused. I feel very good about our preparation. We had three real good meetings yesterday with the penalty killers, the power play people, and the defense. And I think that, you know, they're enjoying the moment right now, and they're looking forward to playing.
Almost 200 reporters and photographers will be here. We're in a media room. It's a real media event. Is your team a little more used to media than an average college team?
Well, I would say they probably are because, you know, we have so many TV, radio stations, and, you know, because of our locale and the importance of hockey to the greater Bangor community and the state of Maine, I think we're very much used to it, and that's an advantage to it. But, hey, when you drop the puck, it's all hockey, and, you know, you can throw the media out the door. Just don't take it personally.
What about Lake Superior State? I guess a big physical team. What do you expect from them?
Well, I think that they're more of a, rather than a physical team, they're more of a grinding and a checking team. They're very well disciplined in the sense that they play a disciplined style of hockey. They all do the same thing, and they get in your way, and they're on the defensive side of you all the time, and they're a frustrating team to play against. And a real key this tonight is going to be to make darn sure that we don't get frustrated. You know, they're going to have 2 or 3 minutes where they're on our end and they're dominating, and it's easy to get, you know, down and get upset. And I've already committed myself, and I'll have our players ready tonight to realize that's going to happen. We'll have our moments, and when the speed gets to be turned on, they better be able to stop us.
Who would you compare them to that was on your schedule?
I'd say as close to Bowling Green as possible, with the exception their defense is a little better. Their forwards maybe aren't quite as good by and large depth-wise, but certainly Vermette and DeCarlo are as good as anybody.
Those are the guys to look for up front. A defenseman in goal. Who else should we pay attention to?
Well, Court Cernich was a second-team All-CCHA sophomore. He's a good player, and the goaltender Hoffert was first-team All-CCHA. He likes to stay on his feet. So, you know, they're going to be a team that in a lot of ways is like us, except for the fact that they might play a little bit more of a defensive style, where we're more of an open-it-up, you know, speed game combined with defense.
Tell us a little about their coach, Frank Anzalone. There have been comparisons between Sean Walsh and Frank Anzalone.
Well, I think the comparisons are because he's basically my age. He's a very intense individual, and you know, uses a lot of tapes and does the best he can to get things out. You know, as far as that goes, I think from a media standpoint, we're very different. And from a coaching standpoint, you know, he's very, very intense on his players, and you know, I think the key tonight is going to be relaxed with your players and to kind of let them play their game and don't get upset if there's a mistake. I think the minute that I start to get on our players, they'll get a little frazzled because of the situation. So I've committed myself to be real calm tonight and not worry about too much and let the game go.
Do you like the way this Final Four stacks up? You've got 4 teams, Lake Superior and Maine, of course, Minnesota and St. Lawrence. How do you rate the group as a whole?
I like it because there's only 4 teams in the country that have played, you know, over 35 games against Division I teams, and there's only 4 teams left who have got less than 10 losses. And all 4 of these teams had everybody shooting for them earlier in the year. And, you know, we're all in a situation all season where if somebody beat us, it made their season. So that's tremendous consistency by all 4 teams, and I think it's going to make for a great final. And right now, I'm happy to be playing Thursday night.
Perhaps the most consistent 4 teams in the country throughout the course of the whole season. Would that be going too far?
No, there's no doubt there was. I mean, when you look at Minnesota and the players they lost in the Olympic team, to come back and only lose 8 games or 7 games is just a tremendous accomplishment to their coaches. Lake Superior was picked 4th in the league. They did it, you know, just by on hard work and overachieving. And then in our situation, I think we did it. We were expected to do it, and we came on and did it. And then finally, St. Lawrence was picked to win the ECAC, and they did.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Joe.
And each team, Tim, in this Final Four had a Hobie Baker finalist. Rob Stauber, of course, of Minnesota won it. So great talent and great teams. Tim?
Thanks very much, Joe. Now let's take a look back, maybe the last 10 years or so, and see who the national champions were. Of course, the Maine Black Bears have never been to a Final Four, so they've never won a national championship. Last year, it was North Dakota, and they play in the WCHA. 6 of the last 10 winners have come from that conference, 2 from the Central Collegiate Hockey Association. Of course, Lake Superior, Maine's foe tonight, plays in that conference, and 2 from the ECAC, although Boston University back in 1978 was playing in the ECAC then, and now, of course, they're Hockey East. And in 1979, Minnesota, they were national champions. They'll play St. Lawrence tomorrow in the other Final Four game. Game time is getting awfully close now. Maine against Lake Superior State. We'll be back with a little bit more right after this.
Hello, I'm Dr. Richards. You may not have needed our services at MedNow in the past, but I'd like to tell you about our patient-oriented practice in case you need medical care in the future.
Our excellent physicians and full staff can provide medical diagnosis and treatment without an appointment. Both Ellsworth and Orono offices are open every day and evening of the year. With our modern lab equipment, we can usually complete diagnostic testing in as little as 20 minutes. Our goal is to provide medical care the way you want it, when you need it. Many people say, MedNow cares for us.
These days, there are lots of places to buy auto parts, but if low prices, quality selection, and the best professional service are important to you, the choice is easy. Barney's Auto Supply, the complete choice. A huge inventory of brand-name domestic parts and accessories. Barney's Import World for everything you need for your foreign car. And Barney's fully equipped, professionally staffed machine shop. Barney's Auto Supply with 12 locations throughout Maine. There's one near you. With Barney's, you can do it. We can help.
Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, 3 hot new Pontiacs you can buy for under $10,000 at your Maine Pontiac dealers. That's right, under $10,000, but that's not the best part. If you qualify as a first-time buyer, that is, you've never financed a new car before, your Pontiac dealer will give you $600 towards your down payment, $600 towards your new Grand Am, Sunbird, or Le Mans. Sticker price under $10,000, these are 3 of Pontiac's hottest values at your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Welcome back to the Final Four. We have game time coming up in just a moment, Maine against Lake Superior State. We're going to go back out now to Lake Placid, New York, and Joe Carr standing by with former coach or assistant coach of the Maine Black Bears, Mike Piette. Mike Piette joins our staff. Guys?
Welcome back to the Lake Placid, New York Olympic Arena, everybody. Joe Carr along with Mike Piette. You remember Mike used to be an assistant coach at Maine in Sean Walsh's first year. In its infinite wisdom, the NCAA decided that Joe Clark could not do color on this game because it was decided in some way an unfair recruiting advantage. So Mike was nice enough to join us. Thanks a lot, first of all, Mike, driving up here today and just getting here a little while ago, so you're pressed into service quickly. I hope you have a good time.
My pleasure, Joe.
It's really quite a situation. You were here at the beginning of this upswing on Maine hockey. Are you surprised that Sean Walsh got a team this far, this fast?
To be perfectly frank with you, I'm not. I'm not at all. You know, you look way back and you look at some of the priorities that we set, you know, for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and basically this is what we expected. And I think we would have been cheating a lot of people if we expected anything less in doing so.
What do you think Sean Walsh thinks now? What does he expect at this point? Does he expect to win it?
Well, I certainly do. I think, you know, skill-wise with the players that he has out there, I think he certainly has a strong team out there in contending for this championship. Again, you know, it's a first-time thing for the Maine fans. It's a first-time thing for the players and the coaching staff in some sense. And I think there's going to be a lot of feeling out that has to be done in the first period.
What are your thoughts about the size of the ice surface and how that will affect the game?
You know, I was just saying to myself, this is mammoth. You know, and I've personally never skated on a rink this big, and this is phenomenal.
Is that Maine's advantage in your view because of their speed?
Oh, I think so. But on the other hand, you also have to say to yourself, you know, Maine has trouble in a smaller rink in Boston Garden, and they've also had trouble in Northeastern. And now you're going to a bigger rink, so they're going to have to make an adjustment as well.
The goal is still 4x6 anyway, and that's what it comes down to, is putting the puck in there. So
right.
Sometimes these things can be a little overrated, but we'll see. We'll return to the Olympic Center in Lake Placid, New York in just 1 minute.
The land, its vast forests, and the open waters of the Maine we serve are workplaces of people renowned for their resourcefulness and their resolve. We know. We've worked with them since 1869. We're Machias Savings Bank, the Total Service Bank. Come, grow with us.
Wait, don't buy that new car yet, or you may miss out on the deal of a lifetime. Beacon of Bangor presents one of the biggest events in Bangor's car buying history, coming April 7th. This special event will mean the largest selection of new cars in Beacon's history, and that can only add up to the most incredible car values you've ever seen. Coming April 7th. Stay tuned to this station for more details. Big things are on the way. from Bangor's big one, Beacon of Bangor.
Very much a partisan Maine crowd here at Lake Placid. Mike, it's almost like the Alfond Arena with all the rowdy rags and Maine fans and the Maine song playing. What kind of an effect will that have on the game?
Oh, definitely a positive effect. You know, it gives the guys a feeling that they're playing back in Maine. And this is going to be a very enjoyable game, I think, for the fans as well as you and I.
In your year at Maine, what did you think of the fans? Were they a big factor in the success of the program getting to this point?
There's, you know, no question. And you can't even begin to say the impact that they have had on building this program. And again, you know, they can't be appreciated enough from the coaching standpoint, and I think from the players as well.
It was an unbelievable sight about 45 minutes ago outside this building. The fans came in a parade down Main Street here in Lake Placid. It's a small town. Everything's self-contained. You can walk right down Main Street. I guess they shut down Main Street by walking right down the middle. Cars couldn't get through. They were all together, chanting and yelling and singing and everything else coming down Main Street. They were outside, and up here I could hear them a long, long way from the doors, and they were just making an incredible amount of noise. They all came in together, and it's really got to do a couple of things. It has to boost the Maine players, and the Lake Superior players have got to wonder what's going on. All these people are here rooting for the other team. It must make it pretty tough for them.
Exactly, and I'll tell you, you know, if you can get that 5, 6 to 10 minute advantage early in the game, you're off to a great start.
Lake Superior is a school that has an enrollment under 3,000. Along with Colorado College, they're the two smallest schools in Division I hockey. It's in a very small town, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is across the water from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, which is a bigger town, but it's a very different situation. They don't get a lot of media coverage. They have a lot of different things to deal with going there. We'll go down now to the Lake Placid Olympic Center ice and pick up the public address announcement of the lineups for tonight's game.
Profanity, racial comments, and other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, you are reminded that consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is
For hockey fans, the national anthem sung in this building takes on a little extra meaning. This is, of course, the ice surface on which the 1980 Olympic team beat the Soviet team and won the gold medal, so it's really quite a special building in terms of hockey rinks, I guess, all over the country. Would you agree, Mike?
Certainly so, and, matter of fact, I was walking up the street with Brad Butow, and I was saying to myself that I really never had the opportunity to, for one, to get up here in 1980 when the Olympics were up here, but even since that time to see a good hockey game like the one we're going to have tonight.
Brad Butow, of course, the coach at United States International. He coached in the Final Four or two when he was at Minnesota, and the Gophers will be very tough in this tournament.
He's getting a little jumpy downstairs because I'm sure this stirs up some memories for him.
Well, for one of these fine teams, the dream season will come to an end for all intents and purposes tonight. The winner goes on to play for the national championship. They'll get a night off. That will be to their advantage, certainly against the winner of tomorrow night's St. Lawrence, Minnesota semifinal. But when you get to this stage with the Final Four, you've got great teams. All four of these teams won over 30 games this year. All four lost less than 10. They dominated their leagues from the beginning, and they're here and they deserve it. The puck is dropped and we're underway. Big Bob Beers of Maine fires it in wide of the Lake Superior net. Bruce Hoffert in the goal for the Lakers, the Sioux Lakers, from the Central Collegiate Hockey Association. The puck is loose at center ice, controlled and brought into the main zone by Lake Superior's Anthony Palumbo. Cleared around the boards by Scott King for Perron, who clears it out. Knocked down by Kesmer and cleared back in. Taken away by Perron, and he'll start with it. Guy Perron, the sophomore from Quebec, is in at the top of the right circle. Backhands it. Hoffert gloves, he'll hold on, and McHugh in a little battle beside the net.
I'll say one thing, Joe. I think the key to this game in the first period is for the players to be very aware around them. It's so easy to get caught in this big ice surface, and they really have to be careful not to take the unnecessary chance at this early stage of the game.
Especially, I guess, defensive mistakes.
Oh, there's no question. You're going to see a good bit of feeling out here for the next five minutes or so, and then you're going to start seeing some aggressive forechecking, I think, on both sides of the rink.
They can say they're treating it like another game, but deep down it certainly is not. They've got to be nervous. Keep in mind they're 18 to 21 years old for the most part.
That's right.
This is a big moment. The puck is in the Lake Superior zone of battle. Jack Capuano named All-American today. So is his brother David. They're first teamers on the Eastern squad. Mike McHugh and Mike Golden on the second team. Lalonde knocks it ahead. Broken up by Rene Chapdelaine. Taken away behind the net by Perron. In front, Capuano score! Dave Capuano from Fire, and Maine's up on top, 1-0 in the first minute of play.
I'll say one thing, Joe. That's a perfect example there on that goal. How Maine is really utilizing the early part of this game.
Mario Thayer had it behind the net, Mike.
There's no question. See, you're forcing the Lakers a little bit tentative on their passing. Maine's playing a fairly easy forecheck. They miscue on a pass, and we capitalize on it.
What a season Mario Thayer's had. Lalonde was there. That may have faked the defense a bit. The pass could have gone to him. He let it go, and David Capuano ripped it. Maine's on top, 1-0. Bruce Major in the lineup tonight in a battle along the sideboards. Wensley there for Maine. It comes away, and Stauber will bring it in. That's Pete Stauber, the brother of the Hobie Baker winner, Rob Stauber, the Minnesota goalie. He keeps going around the net. Weinrich there knocks him down. It's knocked free along the boards. Picked up by Harris. He has it. Knocked away by Guidotti. Around the side, Stauber again, keeping the pressure on. In behind the net, Harris looking to center. Guidotti's there. Near the goal, Scott King stops it and covers up. A little battle again between Guidotti and Tim Harris, number 8, the freshman from Uxbridge, Ontario. Do you expect a lot of that physical play in this game?
Well, I do and I don't to a certain extent. In the defensive zone with this big of an ice surface, the defensemen especially have to make sure that they never take a chance on the offensive side of the puck on a tie-up, because if in fact they do lose that tie-up on the boards, they're at an extreme disadvantage. They always have to anticipate losing that puck coming out of the corner.
Sean Walsh looking on from the main bench. His team is up on top, 1-0 with 18:33 to go in the first period. NCAA Final Four action from Lake Placid. Real nice to have you with us tonight. Dave Nona's with it. Passes ahead, Jenkins. He's knocked down at the blue line, and it's cleared in, picked up by Cord Cernich. Second team All-American from Anchorage, Alaska. A sophomore brought in, broken up though. And here comes Studnicka of Maine in with Jenkins. Left side, Jenkins back to Studnicka. Save by Hoffert. Good play, a quick pass from Jenkins to Studnicka, but Hoffert came out and made the save. And Dan Kesmer skates with it for Lake Superior. Looking for Cernich. Jenkins forechecking. Jablonski knocked down by Jenkins. Jenkins and Studnicka both there. They're battling. Jablonski comes in. They'll tie it up. Quick whistle, and Jablonski belts Studnicka. Studnicka skates away. Maine will have a power play. Smart play by Todd Studnicka.
No question. I'm a little bit surprised. Intensity's picking up in an awful hurry here.
Lake Superior, as we mentioned a bit earlier, in case you tuned in late, 3 players with over 100 penalty minutes this year, including one, Vermette, with 150 penalty minutes.
It gives you a good idea of the type of school that Frank Anzalone comes from in building his hockey club.
Jeff Jablonski goes off. He's a sophomore from Toledo, Ohio, 6'1", 180 pounds. From Sean Walsh's club, leading 1-0 now with a power play, just over 2 minutes into this game. Eric Weinrich takes it off the faceoff. Jack Capuano to David Capuano. Mike Golden and Mike McHugh also out on this power play. 4 All-Americans. Golden in, fires, save by Hofford. Rebound, loose along the side boards. A battle there, broken up. Jack Capuano's got it. He skates, passes off to Golden. Golden sets up, fires it behind for David Capuano. Now he'll start partway up with it. He goes to the left point. Across to brother Jack. Winds up, shoots, save, rebound. Cleared away, Weinrich in the right wing corner. For Golden in behind the net. McHugh sets up in front. Golden's got it through the crease. They can't connect, and Weinrich will take it near the right point. Weinrich skates now to Jack Capuano. David Capuano. He'll shoot. Score! 2-0 Maine.
You know, I was just about to say, Joe, the key to any power play on this rink surface is to be patient. Be patient. Take that extra pass or two and set up that grade A shot.
Well, at this rate, Dave Capuano will score about 60 goals in this game.
You can see Eric Weinrich making a key play there, making a semi-pick on that forward, and I'll tell you, it gives Dave Capuano an awful lot of time to make that shot.
Same shot, exactly. Glove side on the ice. Dave Capuano's 2 for 2. Maine's up on top 2-0. 2 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. Lake Superior's got to be wondering what's hit them. Cleared in by Johnston, stopped by Scott King. Spremen up looking for Lalonde, broken up, back in the point, fired through a crowd save. King knocked away by Claudio Spremen. Right there with an alert play. A little trouble there in the main zone. Lake Superior trying to keep the pressure on. Jack Capuano with a check. Jablonski looking for the puck, now gets it in the left wing corner. Jack Capuano bumps him. Vermette after it, can't get it. Spremen's there. Cleared away from him by Hewson, the captain, back toward the point for Hossack. Stolen by Thayer for Lalonde. He's over the line into the right wing corner. Thayer, Lalonde, and Dave Capuano. What a great line that's been all year. Perron is out there in David Capuano's place after the power play. And it's broken up and cleared by Jablonski of Lake Superior. He's hit by Dave Nonis in the right wing corner. Jablonski looks like he wants to tie it up. Now he'll keep going. Backhands it ahead. Looking to connect with Laprade. Picked off, though, by Beers of Maine. Then he looks for Lalonde, but the pass goes behind him and through. Icing waved off as it goes all the way down into the Lake Superior end. 16:07 left in the first period. 2-0 Maine. Terry Hossack, the captain, one of only 2 seniors on this Lake Superior team. He's got the puck, skating with it. Passes across for Carl Johnston. Johnston checked by Wensley. Gets it ahead, though, and Laprade will clear it in. Dowd can't stay onside, but Corkum takes it and clears around the boards for Major. Major can't get it, and we'll have the whistle and the offside call against Lake Superior. So we'll have a face-off at neutral ice. 2-0 Maine with 15:46 to go in the first period. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Anybody could snow me into a deal before. But now I've got a deal that gets everybody through the snow. On-demand four-wheel drive, absolutely free on all these 1988 Subarus. America's #1 four-wheel drive car. Free four-wheel drive if you come in now. At other car dealers, you could get snowed. Come to Subaru and get through it.
Welcome back to Lake Placid. 2-0 Maine leading Lake Superior. Joe Carr along with Mike Piette. This is semifinal action in the NCAA Final Four. Lake Superior in the blue uniforms, skating right to left on your TV screens. They dump it in. King plays it now to Todd Studnicka. The senior from Chatham, Ontario, skates, brings it in with the help of Jenkins there offside.
You know, it's interesting to see here, Joe, already. You know, we're 5 minutes into the game here, and Maine has already started to implement a passive forecheck. They've gone up by 2 goals, and they're already laying 2 forwards back, picking forwards up, and I think you're going to start to see them to implement a puck movement type of game to force the Lakers to come after them a little bit harder.
Great situation to be in with 15:32 left in the first period.
No
Dave
question.
Capuano has both goals. Jenkins from Maine. Off on the left wing, Vince Guidotti. He'll clear it in. Behind the net, Hoffert will get out and stop it. He's a freshman. Stop behind the net now. Kesmer has it. Passes up along the left wing. He's got Dowd, who backhands it out of the zone. Eric Weinrich right there. He's used to this ice surface. The Olympic team played here a lot. He'll come in and fire, and a save by Hoffert. Studnicka, left wing corner, banks it for Jenkins. Jenkins double teamed off the puck, and is cleared away by Kesmer of Lake Superior. He's a big one, 6'1", 180 from Utica, Michigan. He's in over the line down the right side, setting up in the middle. Dowd has it swept away by Burke, and here come the Bears again. Jenkins, he'll set up at center ice, passes across, looking for Guidotti, but it's intercepted and brought in by Lafrade, dumped in rather, stopped by King. Lake Superior will change up. The Bears will have it. Weinrich passes off on the right side for McHugh. He looks to get by Jablonski. He does. Would have been offside, but lost the puck. Now Golden has it as McHugh clears, and Weinrich takes it back in his own zone. Now Vince Guidotti. Guidotti from the red line dumps it in just wide of the Lake Superior goal. Off the end boards, Golden after it, but the first one there is Martel. Up on the left side, Jablonski. Now he'll pass it in the middle for Dean Dyer. Dyer's right wing pass goes to Harris, who flips it into the corner. He's in a battle with Scrummage. Jack Capuano comes in and plays it. Mike McHugh around the boards, looking for Golden. Golden's got it. Up past Perron and out to center ice. They'll go all the way down into the Lake Superior zone. Chapdelaine will be back to get it. Rainey Chapdelaine. He's a 6'1" junior from Saskatchewan. Dumped into the zone by Dyer, played by King for Scrummage. He'll pass it up ahead, looking for Lalonde. They can't connect. Dave Capuano got a stick on it, but it comes away to the Sioux Lakers' Barnett. He dumps it in. It's played by Scrummage. 2-0 Maine, 13:44 left in the first period. Dave Capuano's got them both. He's got the puck. He's in. Down the right side, he'll set up. Fires it in wide of the goal. It hits somebody in front along the side boards. David pokes it back to Beers. He sends it in wide. Thayer after it in the right wing corner. He'll be beaten to the puck by Hosick of Lake Superior. Barnett now along the boards. He'll dump it back in deep for some help from Hosick around behind the goal to Johnston. Off on the right side, it will be brought out by Lake Superior again. And in over the line. Right in front, a shot wide by Stauber. Off the end boards, Lalonde has it. He'll clear. Got right in through the Maine defense. It got the shot off, but it went wide of the Maine goal. 13:03 left in the first period. 2-0 Maine leads Lake Superior. Palumbo passes off on the right wing where DeCarl will dump it in, stopped by King behind the net. Beers around, and he'll start up with it. Bruce Major in the middle, Wensley over the line. Leaves for Corkum, tips it in front. Major can't get the shot off. Major still looking for his first goal this year. He was in pretty good position there, but couldn't come up with it cleanly in front of the Lake Superior goal. Nifty pass from Corkum. In Vermette. Fires, save King. Vermette is a Hobie Baker, was a Hobie Baker finalist. Guidotti, he's checked along the boards, fires it around. Played by Kesmer, halfway down on the left side, behind the net. Breslin had it. He's hit by Corkum. Wensley battling for it. Over to help out Bob Beers. They'll tie it up. We'll have a face-off in the Maine zone with 12:20 to go in the first period, and Maine leading 2-0.
Very impressive flow of the game there, Joe. I'll say that. It'll be interesting to see how Lake Superior reacts to Maine's quick shifting. I was watching here the last 3.5 minutes, and I think Maine was getting 3 shifts to Lake Superior's 2. I think if Lake Superior wants to stay close in this ballgame, they're really going to have to start taking those quick shifts as well.
In the first Bowling Green game last week, Maine's shift time average was 27 seconds.
It's impressive, and
Sean
it's
Walsh
surprising.
was ecstatic about that, and it made a difference toward the end of the game. It's very clear that it does. Face off in the Maine zone. It will be Studnicka for Maine, Craig Hewson. A pair of seniors from Ontario opposing each other. To the right of King. It comes to Jim Burke, the converted defenseman. He'll pass back for Weinrich. When Weinrich came back, Burke became a forward. Hewson at the right point. Throws it in near the goal. Broken up Breslin. Weinrich after it. On the right side, Hewson's got it again. Breslin sets up in front. Back in front. Hewson shot wide. Good puck movement there. Vermette made the nice feed in front, but they couldn't get it on goal. Hewson, great moves with Weinrich back in behind the net, though, and it comes away, though, to Eric Weinrich. Breslin right there. Looked good, but didn't get much done. Back in behind the goal. A battle, Breslin and Guidotti. After it, Weinrich comes in to help out. It's poked up along the side. Cernich comes up and plays it. Dumps it back in deep. Breslin there. He's tied up by Guidotti. In to help is Vermette and Weinrich. It's knocked free. Up along the side boards. Played by Cernich again. In deep for Vermette. In the left corner. Lake Superior playing a lot of offense here, but they're not getting very many shots off. Now Guidotti will start with it and passes in the middle at neutral ice for Burke. Burke in, down the left side. Jenkins trails behind him. Burke keeps going to the corner. Maine starts a change. Jenkins has it. He's hit. Loose puck knocked back in behind the goal towards Cernich. For Lake Superior, Golden comes in, bumps him off the play. Back to Burke, halfway down on the right side, dumps it in deep off the boards, played by the goaltender Hoffert. In to help out is Kesmer, around the boards and out, trying to break somebody at center ice. Scremin, though, saw it coming and picked it off. Loose, Dowd has it. He's checked. Jenkins, McHugh rather, took it away. Hockey East Player of the Year is in to Golden in the middle, fires, save! Rebound trickled just wide, it almost went in. In the right wing corner, knocked back to the point. Scremin slap shot blocked by Dowd. Scremin after it again, pokes at it. It flips up high out of the zone, hits Scremin, he dumps it back in. Knocked down by Kesmer, he'll clear. McHugh knocks it down with a stick at center ice. Loose puck controlled by the Lakers and brought in by Dowd. Dowd checked by Perron. Thayer will work it out. 2-0 Maine, 10:26 to go in the first period of the NCAA semifinal from Lake Placid. Wound around the boards into the main zone from center ice by Chapdelaine. In near the goal, Jack Capuano's got it for Thayer. Lalonde, now David Capuano, back to Lalonde. He's in down the right side. Goes wide, throws it toward the front, ripped up. There will be no penalty call this time. Brady Chapdelaine with it for Lake Superior. The Maine fans boo, brought in to the middle. Laprade shot broken up, cleared to center ice, kept in though by Jablonski. Then knocked away, and it will be cleared back in by Chapdelaine. Bob Beers, the big junior defenseman from Cheektowaga, New York, throws it back in behind the net, almost bounced in front. Chapdelaine was there, or rather Jablonski was there. Now cleared up on the left wing, Thayer. He's into the zone, slips up though, Johnston there, and he'll pick off the puck and bring it up for the Lakers. Jablonski gets by Corkum, but loses to Major. He tips it onto the Maine bench, and we'll have a face-off at neutral ice. 9.5 minutes to go in the first period. 2-0 Maine. We'll be back to Lake Placid in 30 seconds.
It's no longer just a glimmer on the horizon. It's here today, and it means the dawn of a new day for everyone on Earth who thirsts for something better. Announcing new Diet Pepsi with more real cola taste. A taste so delicious it's like no other taste in the world. Diet Pepsi and new caffeine-free Diet Pepsi, both with 100% NutraSweet. The taste that's generations ahead.
We're back to Lake Placid. Micah, several good scoring chances for Maine. They've converted twice.
I'll tell you what, you know what, the play that made that whole scoring chance was Mike McHugh in the neutral zone there. He's so good at the transition play, getting that puck turned around.
Fans like Mike McHugh. Coaches love Mike McHugh, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of good things to say about the senior from Brunswick. Brought in over the line, broken up by Beers, and Nonis has it. Nonis can't clear it past the right point. Johnston was there. Now it's knocked back out, and Jablonski will chase it down. Jablonski's a sophomore. It seems like he's played the whole first period, except for the time he was in the penalty box, during which Dave Capuano scored one of his 2 goals. Around the boards, Corkum's got it for Maine. Throws it out, looking for Major at center ice. Johnston tipped it. It goes back into the Lake Superior end. 2-0 Maine, 8:52 to go in the first period. Dave Nonis now will tie it up along the sideboards with Tim Harris, and we'll have a face-off.
I think you can see, Joe, you know, after the 12 minutes of this period, how important it is for both Lake Superior and Maine to take the body effectively, but I think the term to use there to describe it is be efficient at it. You don't want to get tied up along the boards, and I think, you know, that's going to decrease the amount of the big bangs and hits that we're going to see tonight.
We've had a great pace so far, not many whistles. Been a lot of fun to watch, especially for Maine fans. Their team is up 2-0 with 8:49 left in the first period. Certainly a long way to go, but a great start. Kesmer from Lake Superior dumps it into the left wing corner of the Maine zone. Now Guidotti will play it up along the boards. Weinrich there, banks it, now gets it back. He's being bothered by Kesmer, who came up. He falls down. Weinrich keeps going with it, though. Now controls it again to Jim Burke. Good hard work forechecking by Lake Superior. They're down 2-0, but they're certainly still working hard. Cernich around the boards in his own zone. They'll tip it past Guidotti at the left point, and it will be brought in down the right side to Carl. Shoots, broken up by Scremin along the boards. It goes. Played at the left side by Palumbo, CCHA Player of the Week last week. He goes to the front. They'll try to get it to him. Bennett is tied up by Guidotti, though. Brett Barnett throws it around the boards. It bounces behind the Maine goal, and Jim Burke's got it. Burke takes a hit from Palumbo, maintains control. Palumbo kicking at it, now poking at it. Burke wants to stop play, and he will. We'll have a face-off in the Maine end with 7:52 left in the first period, and the Bears up 2-0.
I tell you, Lake Superior is doing a great job on their puck control in deep. I'm very impressed with the way they're handling that puck in deep.
After Maine's first 2 goals, they've played much better since that point.
And I'll tell you, the Maine forwards are going to have to be real careful not to get mesmerized by the puck, because they have defensemen that will sneak in back door, which will hurt them.
Final 4 action from Lake Superior, 2-0 from Lake Placid, rather. Maine and Lake Superior, 2-0 Maine with 7:52 to go in the first period. We've got the face-off, and we'll do it one more time. The referee in tonight's game is John Gallipo. Face-off to the left of Scott King. Lots of empty seats here, but most of the seats that are occupied by Maine fans. A great turnout of Black Bear rooters. Loose puck thrown to the left side. Benson tries to work it in front, broken up though, and Scremin starts out with it. In the middle, Perron handles it to Golden. Backhand in front, McHugh knocked it wide. Great try by McHugh, and Golden. Jeff Delane got back there though and broke it up at the last moment. Here come the Lakers in. Vermette down the right side. Goes in behind the net. Golden bumps him. Jack Capuano will pick it up. A pair of Hobie Baker finalists colliding there. Big, strong forwards, both of them. Loose along the Maine blue line. Tipped into the zone. Vermette after it. Thayer gets there first though. And the freshman starts. But he tries a move on Houston. Couldn't get by him. Beers had it. He falls down. Loose puck along the side boards at neutral ice. It will be brought into the zone. A nice move. Houston fires it wide. Lots of Lake Superior's best opportunities have been shot wide so far. Here comes Thayer for Maine. He's in with Nonis. Thayer drops it behind Nonis though, and back in to get it for Lake Superior on defense is Hossack. He'll come the other way with it. His shot hits the side of the Maine net and goes around to the left wing boards. Nonis back in for Maine. Loses control of the puck, taken by Stauber. He backhands it around, picked up by Harris, fired over to the right wing corner. Off the end boards, Hossack. Around the boards again. Dowd has it. Defenseman has come up toward the front here. Now he'll dump it ahead. Mario Thayer picks it up. Back at the right point, looking for Johnston. Picked off David Capuano. Tries a move on Dowd. Tries another move on Dowd. Gets it to Lalonde. Christian is in, but hit by Hossack. And it's cleared away by the Sioux Lakers. 6:07 to go in the first period. 2-0 Maine. Skating to the left side is Stauber. Pete Stauber, the sophomore, throws it to the front. Eric Weinrich right there for the Bears. He'll pick it off. Weinrich overskates, recovers, gets it to Wensley. We've got a whistle, play stop. We've got a penalty coming up, and it will be on Maine. 5:55 to go in the first period. 2-0 Maine, a Lake Superior power play when we come back in 30 seconds.
Back when beer was stored in ice caves, it was never heat pasteurized or tampered with. The cold kept its taste fresh and real. Today, there's a beer as real as that. Miller Genuine Draft. It's not heat pasteurized like most other beers. It's cold filtered to be as fresh, smooth, and real as beer ever was. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Keep some in your ice cave.
It's as real as it gets.
Vince Guidotti gets 2 minutes for holding, and Lake Superior will have its first power play of the game. Maine is 1 for 1. They lead the game 2-0 on a pair of Dave Capuano goals. How much harder is penalty killing, Mike, in a wider rink?
Well, I don't think it's so much more of being a more difficult task. I think it's a matter of being smarter with what you're doing out there, because if you do make that small mistake, it's gonna hurt you a lot faster than it will in a normal-sized rink.
Dave Nonis clears it all the way down for Maine. He's out there penalty killing along with Beers, Jenkins, and Studnicka. Vince Guidotti off for holding. Lake Superior on the power play. Maine up 2-0. The Sioux Lakers with it. Dumped in behind the net. Houston looks to work it around into the corner. Studnicka tries to clear. Can't do it. Palumbo knocks it ahead. Glove down and thrown out of the zone by Studnicka as he's hit by Palumbo.
Very smart play.
Just looks funny, that's all. Todd Studnicka got it in the right hand and wound up and did the, I guess since he's wearing number 23, the oil can Boyd with it. Fired it out to center ice. That stops play. We'll have a face-off in the Maine zone.
I'll tell you, Todd Studnicka is a smart player when it comes. I think that's one of the reasons why you see him out there in this key situation here.
He does so many things that you really don't notice, no matter how close you watch sometimes. Great defensive forward. He's had a few big goals this year, too.
He's had a very good 4-year career for Maine, and he's been a very powerful factor for them.
Sean Walsh and Bruce Crowder looking on the Maine bench. Jay Leach upstairs spotting tonight in communication with Bruce Crowder. And Dave Westby and Joe Clark also here working on the Maine staff for the Final Four. 2-0 Maine with 5:28 to go in the first period. A minute 33 left on the penalty to Vince Guidotti. The puck in the Maine zone. Off the draw, right in front to Carl. Cuts in, scores! He cut and faked about 4 times, and there was not much left for Scott King to do.
I'll tell you, that was a very, very impressive individual effort on the part of DeCarlo.
Mike DeCarlo with his 26th goal of the season, his 63rd point, gets one back for Lake Superior. And it's 2-1 Maine. Right off the draw, Mike.
You know, and I think, I don't know who the defenseman was there on the inside of the circle, but that's just a perfect example of being strong when that puck is dropped.
DeCarlo at 6'2", 195 pounds. Very big forward from Covina, California. A hockey hot bet, I'm sure. 2-1. Maine leads Lake Superior with 5:11 to go in the first period. The Bears took a quick 2-0 lead. Since then, the Lakers have played much better, and now they've cut the lead to 2-1. Brought in by DeCarlo. He'll cut to the left side, starts to shoot, but the Lakers are offside, and we'll have a face-off coming up.
It's easy to get distracted. You know, you go up by 2 goals, and you start to get into feeling pretty good about yourself, and they have to get back to moving the puck. That's the key to this game, and you can see Lake Superior moving the puck very effectively, and they're forcing Maine out of their game, and that's the key here.
Have there been any adjustments that they've made that you've noticed since going down 2-0, or just a matter of staying patient, staying with what they were doing?
Exactly. I think they've been very patient, and they've been very patient in the offensive zone, and as you can see, one mistake will cost you.
Martell of Lake Superior winds it in left to right. King can't get it. Played along the right side by Harris. Throws it toward the front, broken up, and here comes Dave Nonis. Nonis of Maine out with it over the blue line. Has it knocked off his stick and into the corner by Chapdelaine. Martell winds it around the boards. Harris there. Thayer after him pokes it back in deep. Chapdelaine with it. 4:35 to go in the first period. 2-1 Maine. The lead for Jablonski. Can't get it. Bounces in the middle, though. A chance for a break by Dyer, but the Sioux Lakers are offside. We'll have a face-off coming up at neutral ice. The power play goal again, Mike.
Yeah, I think you see Jack Capuano there on the inside. He ended up covering number 23, and I think it was just an unfortunate situation where I think Eric Weinrich got tripped up. I don't think it was, a clear mistake on his part there.
Not really a breakdown, just one of those things.
One of those things.
2-1 Maine. 4:25 to go in the first period. NCAA Final Four action. Tipped into the zone by Corcoran, but taken right off his stick. And it will be brought out by Jablonski of Lake Superior. Sends it in wide. Off the end board, Scrumman back there checking hard. Ties a man up. It's cleared around to Major. Tries to get it out of the zone. Can't do it. Kept in by Johnston. Sent back in deep. Scrumman's there for Weinrich. Major at the side. Johnston comes up again and knocks it away. Weinrich comes in. He's checked. Gets it to Major. Works it part way up. Kept in, though, at the right point by Hosick, the captain, around behind the net. Scrumman in a battle there with Harris. Scrumman ties Harris up. They'll both fall down. Loose puck in the left wing corner. Weiner's there. Laprade gets it. They'll work it ahead back in behind the net. Wensley defensively tying up Stauber. And now Weinrich for Maine. Major can't get it out of the zone. Great pressure by Lake Superior in front. Loose puck. Weinrich is there, so Scrumman. Stauber gets it in the corner. Back on the point. Laprade ahead for Stauber. Skating away from Scrumman. Back on the point. Hosick in beside the net. Tipped up in the air. Loose puck. Lots of people there. Poked at. King's got it. He'll hold on.
You know, you asked a question about the systems there, Joe. I think, you look at that particular set of plays there, and Maine was intent on moving that puck 4 or 5 times up the board, and Lake Superior State, their defensemen kept coming down the board and keeping it in. And I think they're going to have to start to realize that Lake Superior State's defensemen are going to crash down on them if they're going to move the puck up the boards, and they're going to have to make that adjustment.
So the room is more toward the middle then.
Exactly.
Lots of adjustments made by hockey coaches during games. It's one of the things that makes it such a fascinating game. Watch these little things. Just change as you go. Scott King in the Maine net. His team leads 2-1 with 3:19 to go in the first period. The faceoff is to the left of King. Hewson and Studnicka On the face-off, it comes back to Cernich. He'll skate around with it, dumps it in behind the net. It hit the back of the net, actually. Studnicka in there in a battle with Houston. They're still going after it in the left wing corner. Beers comes in. They'll all tie it up. We'll have a face-off in the Maine zone.
Very strong team we're seeing here in the purple and gold.
We played about 2 minutes in the Maine zone.
Well, I think, I had the opportunity to see Maine play Bowling Green. I've seen the Michigan State play, and now I'm seeing the Lakers play. And those three teams play a very similar type game. They're all big, they're very physical, and they're very strong in the zone.
They're all from the same league, too, interestingly enough. There's really a style of play from the CCHA. Veers off to McHugh. He's in. He's a little wide. Throws it in front for Perron. Can't quite get it. DeCarl will work it out of the zone for Lake Superior. Golden back after it. Dave Nonis along the boards ahead. It goes by Chapdelaine and all the way down into the Lake Superior end. Check that, Cernich, the defenseman. Guy Perron comes in, forechecking. Tries to work it away from Cernich. Can't do it. Kesmer has it. He'll skate with it around the left wing boards and up. DeCarl at center ice. Brings it in down the left side, and Palumbo's offside. We'll have a face-off at neutral ice with 2:32 to go in the first period, and Maine leading Lake Superior by a score of 2-1. The second half of this first period's really slowed down, hasn't it?
It has. I think the emotions are starting to settle down. I think you're going to see both teams starting to settle into their style of game, and they'll be coming out in the second period, and we're going to see a very effective hockey game here.
Dyer and Dyer on the face-off. Dean Dyer, a freshman from Sherwood Park, Alberta. Dyer, of course, a freshman from Montreal. Off the face-off, Dave Capuano's got it. Got 2 goals already. To the middle. Checked. Lalonde has it. To the right side. Back to the point. Weinrich skates in to the middle. Eric fires up over the net. A wrist shot by Eric Weinrich. It was tipped, I think, by somebody. It went up over the goal. Right wing corner. Dave Capuano's got it. Thayer to the front. Mario Thayer knocks it around in deep. David Capuano's got it again to the left wing corner. Back in the point, Guidotti. He'll shoot through a crowd. It goes wide. Off the boards. Weinrich steps up. He'll go all the way into the corner with it. Dave Capuano covers up the point. It goes through the crease, and it's picked off by Lake Superior's Harris. He'll skate out with it. Passes on the left wing for Jablonski. Dave Capuano right there with it. Tied up by Dyer. Pulled down. Won't be called. Thayer's in for Maine. He'll shoot. Saved by the goaltender Hoffert. And Jablonski's got it off the rebound for Lake Superior. Now to Dyer. 1:38 to go in the period. Dyer to the right side. He'll leave back on the point. A shot. Save. King. Rebound. Cleared by Claudio Scremin. A shot taken by Carl Johnston. King with a nice stop. In wide of the Lake Superior goal. Johnston back to get it. Banks it on the backhand around the boards for Pete Starber. Starber out to center ice. Scremin for Maine. Jack Capuano, or rather Corkum, has it hit his skate and go in. Cleared all the way through and down into the Maine end. On goal, so there's no icing. King, like a third defenseman, up to Major. Banks it, looking for Wensley, a bit too far ahead. Wensley battling for it. Major, the big strong forward, comes in. Can't get it along the side boards, though. Thrown in the middle. Dyer cuts to the right side. We're in the final minute of the first period. 2-1 Maine. In the left wing corner, Scremin. He'll be battling there with Jim Dowd. Comes away to Lake Superior's Stauber. Cuts to the left circle. Tries to pass back to the point. Corkum picks it off. From center ice, fires it in. A save made by the goaltender Hoffert. Maine will change up to McHugh. Golden Perron unit comes out at forward for the Bears. Nonis and Beers on defense. 35 seconds left in the period. Mike McHugh gloves it down at center ice, plays it ahead. Broken up by Dowd and cleared in. Stopped behind the net. King, now Beers. 25 seconds to go in the period. 2-1 Maine. On the left side, Mike McHugh. He's checked. Golden's got it. Golden skates back into his own end, wheeling around near the blue line. Now out to center ice and through. Mike Golden with a head of steam into the right wing corner. Throws it toward the front for McHugh. He's tied up. Good hard work. Back checking by Kent Cernich. Loose puck in the circle. 6 seconds to go in the period. Cernich, Lake Superior, off on the right side. Brought into the zone. They'll throw it in front, and at the buzzer, the puck goes in the goal, but it will not count. Clearly, after play had ended in the first period, and a real good first period for Maine.
Very impressive first period. I think the flow started to pick up, and we saw some very good scoring chances on both parts here. And I think defensively they played very consistent throughout the period.
It's fascinating to watch the contrast in styles at times, too, isn't it? One team controls it, goes slowly. One team controls it, goes fast.
It sure is, and I think you can see the type of effectiveness that Lake Superior State is having offensively. Maine does have a lot of speed. They do have a lot of skills individually, but at the same time, they're making that initial rush. They're losing control of the puck, and Lake Superior State is coming right out with it.
We sure have a good game ahead of us. One period is done with. Maine leads Lake Superior by a score of 2-1. We'll take you now back to the Channel 5 studios in Bangor and our sports director and host, Tim Throckmorton.
Thanks very much, Joe. Final Four weekend. It's getting underway, of course, with hockey. Of course, big Final Four weekend. This, of course, basketball, NCAA basketball taking place this Saturday. But we're talking hockey, of course. A lot going on in between periods 1 and 2. Maine with the lead. It looked like it was going to be quite a blowout, but it's not at all. 2-1 after one period. We'll be back with our in-between intermission activity right after this.
How's the hotshot young contractor today?
Way behind schedule, Dad.
Did you call Jordan Milton about renting a loader or a backhoe?
Thought I'd better shop around.
Why? Jordan Milton has the biggest selection, and their simple monthly rental means you can have a machine here tomorrow.
Okay, Dad, I'll call. Aren't you ever going to retire?
Never. I'm too busy watching out for you.
Loaders, backhoes, dozers, for sale or rent. Call us for details. We're Jordan Milton, your Caterpillar dealer, Brewer, Maine.
Yes, sir. There's nothing like the smell of fresh coffee brewing and the sound of a crackling campfire to make a fishing trip complete. I can taste those fresh trout right now, just a melting in my mouth. That clear, crisp morning air breathes a new spirit in a body. Great time to sit with a friend and think about the big one we won't let get away.
Outdoor dreams come true at Darling's Recreational Division Brewer.
The new heartbeat in downtown Bangor gets stronger, bigger, because the Court Boys are determined to be Maine's #1 Chevrolet dealer. To do this, they've built Bean & Conquest inventory to a record high, and they're ready to out-discount, out-deal, and out-trade any other dealer. You want low monthly payments?
You got it.
You want no money down?
You got it.
You've never seen deals like this on new Chevy cars and trucks at Bean & Conquest, 40 Summer Street, Bangor, next to the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge.
And remember, you want it, you got it.
Welcome back to in between periods. The other hockey news really actually doesn't take place until tomorrow night. That's when, of course, St. Lawrence and Minnesota tangle in the other Final Four game. Maine, of course, with their work cut out for them tonight, as if they want to make it to the final game on Saturday night, they'll have to win tonight. No 2 games and no total goals. Tonight it's just 1 game actually in total goals. But Maine has the lead in total goals right now, 2-1. Let's go back to Lake Placid. Joe Carr standing by with an NHL veteran and, of course, a veteran of Final Four activity.
Thank you, Jim. Bruce, was there a time in the year when you all of a sudden realized this team was as good as it was supposed to be?
I'd have to say it was after the Minnesota game myself. I think it was a turning point because we had played good teams up to then, and we had played well. And a lot of the games were close, but Minnesota, that was a game where it was 1 against 2, and it was a type of game where how good are we? And the kids rose to the occasion. And after that game, I just kind of said, hey, we can make things happen this year.
You've been on good teams. How difficult is it to play in a situation where everybody's always shooting for you and trying to knock you off?
Well, I think it's really tough, to be quite honest with you. A lot of teams come in, and if they can beat us being #1 or 2 in the country as we were for most of the season, that it kind of makes their season. So I think a lot of teams probably played their better games against us. I think in the same regard, it's going to help us come down to this game where our kids have been targets all year long, and the pressure being #1 and 2. And I think after the first week of us being #1, we handled it quite well. And then it was just water off a duck's back. It was normal to them, and just went on and did the job.
What have you observed about leadership on this team in the last couple of years?
I think it's a pretty good blend, to be quite honest with you. I think there's good rapport between the freshmen and the seniors. I think the seniors take over very well, whether they're captains or not. And there's a lot of character on this team from what has happened in the past 3 or 4 years with some of the scores that came in. And I think the seniors right now, they see the end of the tunnel, and they would like to go out with a blaze of glory, and if anybody deserves it, they do, because they worked so hard for this program over the last 4 years to get it to where it is now.
How are you enjoying being back at the Final Four? You were here twice as a player. Is it fun to be in this experience again?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. When you get down to 4 teams who are the best in the country, anything can happen in a game, and I expect that. It's going to be all games are probably going to be 1 or 2 goal games, and it's going to be the bounce of the puck or great goaltending, and the people here at Lake Placid have done an excellent job. What a nice little community they have here, and they're doing it up right, and it should be fun.
Is there a key for your team in terms of their on-ice play?
I think we stress defense ever since before the Bowling Green series, and I think they have to do that. And I think if we play good D, the offense will take care of itself, because we can be explosive. And the thing is, when we get thinking too offensively, we don't take care of the D, and we run into problems usually. But if we play defense, King plays a good game,
and we make little passes and we take the body. I think the outcome should favor us, I hope.
Thanks very much for your time, Bruce. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Maine assistant coach Bruce Crowder. Our coverage of University of Maine hockey at the Final Four continues in 90 seconds.
Who's got the juice? Got it. Got it. Don't got it. Got it. Got it. Don't got it. Yeah. Got it.
Ain't got it.
Who's got the juice? Right. You got the juice. Taste it. Yeah. You got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Don't got it. Taste the real juice. Either you got it or you don't. Right. Either you got it or you don't. Right.
A complete line of quality housewares, appliances, both gas and electric, brand name tools and hardware, famous True Test paints, building materials, everything you'll ever need from the foundation to the chimney. The finest fuel oil and LP gas service, including expert installation, all at competitive prices, and everything computerized for speed and efficiency. Old Town Fuel and Building Supply Company, County Road in Milford, finding new ways to serve our customers for over 65 years.
Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, 3 hot new Pontiacs you can buy for under $10,000 at your Maine Pontiac dealers. That's right, under $10,000, but that's not the best part. If you qualify as a first-time buyer, that is, you've never financed a new car before, your Pontiac dealer will give you $600 towards your down payment, $600 towards your new Grand Am, Sunbird, or Le Mans. Sticker price under $10,000, these are 3 of Pontiac's hottest values at your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Probably won't be soon.
Didn't take very long for the Maine crowd at Lake Placid, New York to get excited. As a matter of fact, less than a minute into the first period. Let's check out the highlights as the Black Bears came out flying, I guess you'd say. Dave Capuano voted an All-American earlier today, along with his brother Jack Capuano, and gets his 32nd goal of the year. Just a rifle wrist shot and right past Bruce Hoffert, the Lake Superior goalie, and the Black Bears had the lead 1-0 less than a minute into the contest. The puck comes from just behind the net, and there's Dave Capuano's shot. On the power play, less than 3 minutes into the contest, Eric Weinrich passes it back to Dave Capuano once again. Goal number 33 of the season, his second of the night. Dave Capuano also has 50 assists and 83 points on his season as he gets the blast from straight away past Bruce Hoffert, and the Black Bears led 2-0 at 2:38 into the first period. But Mike DeCarl beats Mike Golden on the face-off, waltzes in, and flicks the wrist shot past Scott King. And with about 4 minutes left in the first period, Lake Superior cuts the margin to 1 goal, and that's how the first period ended. 2-1, as the Maine Black Bears, of course, still with the lead. We have second period activity coming up in not too long. Zamboni still out on the ice. We'll have this break from the NCAA.
The words higher education bring to mind images of books and classrooms, of scientists and laboratories. But a college or university education consists of much more than just classrooms and tests. During my university years, I met people from many different cultures and countries. I heard new ideas and opinions. I acquired experience in and out of the classroom, experience in setting and achieving goals, in cooperating with other people, in making decisions. Well, that experience has served me well throughout my entire life and career. A college or a university education can enhance all facets of life. It can be a priceless treasure.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
I stand corrected. The miracle of modern ice making. There are 2 Zamboni machines on the Olympic Ice Arena in Lake Placid, New York, so it didn't take very long at all to make new ice. Second period coming up. Maine with a 2-1 lead. Mike Piet and Joe Carr back with the second period highlights and a whole bunch more. Don't go away.
It must be spring. Our inventory inventory's growing?
Because Village Subaru broke all records last year, they've received a huge allotment of 88s. And this bumper crop brings all the green to you. Not only will Village Subaru guarantee you at least $2,000 trade-in for anything that goes, they'll also give you up to $1,500 cash back. That's $3,500 total savings. And that can blossom into no cash down, spring into the greatest deals ever at Village Subaru, Hogan Road, Bangor.
And remember, this time everyone picks a winner.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh yeah. It's as real as it gets. Feels good. So right.
If you go for what's real, you want a beer that's not heat pasteurized, not tampered with. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
As real as it gets.
Welcome back to Lake Placid, New York, everybody. Between the first and second periods, getting near the beginning of the second period, Maine leads Lake Superior State by a score of 2-1. Two Dave Capuano goals. One of them answered by Mike DeCarl. Late in the first period, each team dominated about half of the period. Maine the first half and Lake Superior the second half. Boy, this Laker team is big and strong. Very, very tough, especially in the offensive zone. And they can do some damage to you down there. But Maine leads 2-1. That's the bottom line after the first period of play. The big wide ice surface helping Maine, certainly in the first part of the period anyway. And Lake Superior seemed to make some adjustments. They stopped Maine from going wide and up the boards, coming out of the zone in particular, and that helped them in the latter part. And they were able to carry play later on, really keeping the puck in the Maine zone for much of the last part of the second period. Lake Superior's goal was scored by DeCarl, and it was a nice one right off the face-off. A couple of Maine players got tied up. Mike DeCarl, number 14, picked up the loose puck. Eric Weinrich was tripped up, fell down. He came in alone on King. A couple of head and shoulder fakes, went in, and not much Scott King could do. Mike DeCarl picks up his 26th goal of the season on the power play. And Lake Superior cuts the lead, rather, to 2-1. The officials are on the ice here, the 1980 arena in the Olympic Center at Lake Placid. This is the rink where the Americans beat the Russians in 1980. Down to the left, that goal you're looking at is the goal that Jim Craig skated out of. Looked up in the crowd, draped in the American flag, looking for his father. Very few of us who saw that game will ever forget it. The Maine Bears coming out of the dressing room, getting set to begin the second period. They lead 2-1. They are probably not that happy with the way they played in the first period overall. The first part was good. And then the second part, Lake Superior handled them pretty well. So both coaches, Frank Anzalone of Lake Superior and Sean Walsh of Maine, will make some adjustments, and we'll see how the second period goes. Bears on top on the scoreboard. Bob Beers skating behind his own net. Number 2, the big junior defenseman playing in his home state. Cheektowaga, though, is over by Buffalo. A pretty good ride from here. He said about 7 hours. So certainly not like all of Bob Beers' friends and neighbors are here to watch this game. Hoffert in the Lake Superior goal. All CCHA first team as a freshman. And Mike, he made some good saves in that first period.
You know, they took some long shots on him late in the period, gave him more confidence. So we'll see what happens this period.
He is just a freshman. This is a big pressure situation for him, certainly. Handled it pretty well so far, without a doubt.
I'll say one thing. They say the traffic is bad in Boston. The traffic isn't any better downstairs right now.
52 seconds of the first period, Dave Capuano scored. Assist going to Thayer and Lalonde, and then at 2:48, he got another one on the power play from Eric Weinrich and Mike Golden. DeCarl's goal was assisted by Pete Stauber. Second period is underway. NCAA semifinal action from Lake Placid, New York. 2-1 Maine. The puck is cleared into the Black Bear end. Dave Nonis back in along with DeCarl. DeCarl bumps Nonis. Very physical Lake Superior team. Around the boards, Barnett plays it in deep for DeCarl. He's checked. DeCarl looks to throw it in front. Can't do it. Broken up, knocked back in deep. DeCarl's got it again. Nonis on him. DeCarl wheels in front. Loose puck shot. A great stop by King. King dove and broke up Brett Barnett. Keeper on with the puck for Maine. Lake Superior continuing that pressure as the second period starts. in the Maine zone.
Boy, they sure are. You know, and I said it to myself, it's been a while since I've been down in the locker room, but I'm sure the one thing that Coach Walsh did say to the Maine players.
Great stop by King.
Yeah, we'll take another peek at it here. Great stop. And that's a perfect example. They got to be stronger with the body. You know, the key to winning this ball game is staying with the body and tying up sticks and loose pucks.
Would you rather see Scott King make that save on his feet?
Well, in that type of situation, you really don't have much control. Your number one priority is to stop the puck.
The face-off to King's right side. Thayer on the draw with Houston. Loose puck controlled by Breslin. Skates in front with it, shoots it in the crease. Loose puck, it goes in. No. Well, they waved it off. Must have hit a skate.
I'm going to have to take a peek at that one again here, Joe. I don't know if that was an inadvertent skate or if that was an intentional kick or not.
You could hear it.
Well, you definitely could hear it, and I definitely saw it hit a skate, but I don't know if, in fact, that the Lake Superior State guy did intentionally kick that puck into the net.
The game stays 2-1. The Lake Superior fans don't like it a bit. But the referee, John Gallupo, made the call right away. There was absolutely no hesitation on his part. Another look, Mike. Will be thrown in front here.
Well, I don't know. I would have to take another. That's a questionable call. Evidently, he made the call, and he had no apprehension.
Breslin spinning around. He was tied up, and it hit him in the foot as he was making a turn to face the goal, and it went in. It's taken away. Maine continues to lead 2-1 early in the second period. Vermette takes it from Capuano, who takes it back. David Capuano now. Maine needs a spark.
As I was about to say earlier, Joe, the key for Maine right now is to make the small, quick pass. They have to get away from this physical game. They have to get into the finesse passing game right now and utilize that speed.
Mr. Finesse himself, Mario Thayer, has it. It's broken up. Dave Capuano brings it in, and the Bears will be offside. That will cause a face-off. At least it's closer to the Lake Superior zone. The puck has not crossed that line, that blue line, yet in this second period, with 18:55 to go, and Maine leading by a score of 2-1.
You have to. I think, you know, even when you take that play back to the boards, you have to be careful, and I think number 21, the defenseman, didn't get to that guy to even allow the shot. But there again, I think we were fortunate in that sense with that particular call, but it certainly didn't look like it was an intentional kick.
Stauber and Corkum go into the corner. Stauber keeps going. Loses, though, to Weinrich. Now Guidotti. Major for Maine. In the middle, he's got Corkum. Corkum off on the right side. Dave Wensley and the Bears for the second time in the first minute 22 of the second period go offside.
So you have to give Lake Superior a lot of credit right now because they're really doing an effective job in bringing the Maine players into their style of hockey game right now.
Frank Anzalone, just a couple of months younger than Sean Walsh, in his 6th year as head coach at Lake Superior.
Very impressive. You know, they come from a similar type school, and I think we're seeing a couple penalties here.
The referee is at the scorer's table. Dowd skating that way with his head down. Both penalty doors are open, so we'll have matching minors.
And when I say both the coaches came from the same school, I mean the same school of hockey rather than the same education.
Anzalone is a native of Brooklyn, New York, of all places. He talks like it. he's a pretty good guy. Had a nice talk with him today, and he's very cooperative and helpful, and
I think
he's enjoying this attention.
Hey, you have to. I mean, you get into one of the best 4 teams in the country. You have to be happy with life at this point.
Dave Wensley goes off for Maine. Jim Dowd, the freshman from New Jersey for Lake Superior, will play 4-on-4. A situation, again, that should favor Maine, but you never know. Chapdelaine clears it in, stopped by King. Up to Vince Guidotti, can't get it past Chapdelaine at the point. He'll knock it back in wide. King for Guidotti, banks it to Weinrich. Weinrich handles it, throws it across, where Guidotti will play it off the board, swept off his stick by DeCarl. Guidotti forced back in deep. Weinrich right in front of the goal for Guidotti. DeCarl checking. Guidotti banks it ahead, looking for Perron. They can't connect. Chapdelaine clears it right back in to the Maine zone. Lake Superior fans are starting to make some noise. They like the way their team is playing. Maine leads, though, 2-1 in the second period. Perron in the middle. Weinrich skates left. Jenkins brings it over the line. In front, Guy Perron can't get the shot off. Now Jenkins fires it just wide. Jenkins had it roll off his stick. Back in behind the goal for Perron. Nonis, left wing corner. Bumped off the play by Palumbo, and DeCarl has it. The Carl and Palumbo line mates are out there, 4-on-4 hockey for another 55 seconds. Maine leading 2-1. Golden skating in with it down the right side, leaves for Nonis, broken up and cleared away by Stauber. On the right side, Vermette is in on King, shoots wide, hit the post. Hit the post to the right side as Vermette was looking at the net.
So it's a perfect example, boy. You have to be aware of those people sneaking in behind you.
Mike Golden around the right side, goes in behind the goal with it, trying to recover in the corner. He's checked by Johnston, gets it to McHugh though. McHugh puts a move on, he's tied up. More of that grabbing going on. Nonis around the boards looking for Golden. Golden's bumped off the play though, and Vermette's got it. The All-American. Off on the left wing, it'll be brought in and fired by Stauber, saved by King. He got it and he'll hold on.
I think Scott King was a little surprised with that shot. I don't think that he thought that shot was going to come. I think he was a little off on that angle there.
Stauber with 55 points coming into this game. The brother of the Hobie Baker winner, the goalie from Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Scott King did overplay that angle a little bit. I think he's fortunate to get a pad on that shot.
He held on. That will cause the face-off in the Maine zone with 16:52 to go in the second period. Maine leading 2-1. Dave Capuano got both of Maine's goals in the first 3 minutes of the first period. Since then, it's been pretty much all Lake Superior, but they've only gotten one behind Scott King. Well, two, but one was waved off.
That's right. I'll tell you, for the 14 minutes I've seen this purple and gold team play some hockey, I'm fairly impressed with the way they play the controlled type of game right now.
They've got a style that really suits their ability very well.
And I think, as we talked about earlier, the key to this game is being very smart, being very efficient, not overreacting in a lot of the situations out there.
10 seconds left on the penalties. Dave Capuano, right wing for Thayer. Thayer's into the zone, cuts to the middle. Thayer's got it again, shoots, broken up. On a good play by a defenseman, got back in there. Kesmer got a piece of Mario Thayer's shot. A fabulous freshman almost pulled another one off. A shot from center ice. King will hold on to it. Got it between the pads and smothered it. As some tempers flare a bit. 16:31 to go. The penalties are over. We're in the second period, 2-1. Maine will be back to Lake Placid in 30 seconds.
For years, you've loved that great Grant's Dairy taste. Why? Because the milk from Grant's Dairy is always fresh, always good. And now Grant's Dairy has a new fresh cap. Our foil seal is the first in Maine. It really puts the lid on freshness. And when you pour yourself a tall glass of our wholesome Maine milk, you can taste just how good our freshness is. We guarantee it. So come on, open a gallon of milk from Grant's Dairy. It has our new seal of approval, and its freshness will have yours naturally.
Welcome back to Lake Placid, everybody. Second period action. Maine leading Lake Superior by a score of 2-1 in the NCAA semifinal. Joe Carr along with Mike Piette. Face off to the left of Scott King. Dean Dyer out there for Lake Superior. Lalonde had it. Goes back to Guidotti around the boards. Bob Corkum backhands it in again for Weinrich. Eric Weinrich along the boards at the right point, though. Cord Cernich right there, and he sends it back in and around. On the left side, Jablonski's playing it. In for Dyer. Dyer's bumped by Wensley. Jablonski in behind the net. He's got Harris. Harris tries to get away from Guidotti. Does in front. Knocked away by King. Loose puck in the deep slot. They'll bring it back on the left point. Now right point. Cernich fires it in front. Save King. Where's the rebound? Wide of the net. Harris and Weinrich after it. Great pressure by Lake Superior. Penalty coming up on Maine. Their goal is empty. Guidotti wants to tie it up. Now we've got Dyer dumped in front of the net. Now Jenkins knocked down by Dyer. Or rather, Wensley knocked down by Dyer. Players everywhere on the ice, and Lake Superior is going on the power play, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you, that short series of play, it's one thing for Lake Superior to be a big team, a very strong team, but it's... Here, well, let's take another look at this play here. But as I was saying, it's one thing to get beat to the puck, and Eric Weinrich did a magnificent job here tying up the stick. I guess he did hang on to the stick a little bit too long to get that holding call, but as I was saying, right now it's just a question of Maine hockey team just starting to work a lot harder in that defensive zone and start beating Lake Superior players to the puck in that zone.
Did the 2 goals early on give them a false sense of security or something, maybe?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, this big game, it's easy to think some of the younger players, they think they may have an easier goal of what they originally thought. That's to be expected. But now their challenge is to regroup and come back and play a hockey game here.
Just a matter of getting it back together. They had it certainly early on. So it's there. Mike Golden on the face-off against Vermette. Off the draw, Stauber pokes it toward the middle. We'll come back to Cernich on the right point. Lake Superior's second power play of this game. Stauber. Vermette behind the net, poked away by Nonis McHugh after it. Can't get it. Up from the point is Kesmer. Vermette to Stauber. Right wing corner. Cernich to the point. To the middle. Deflected by Golden. Goes up along the glass to the left wing corner. Now look to hit Stauber in the middle. It goes under his stick and back toward the blue line. Cernich will dump it in. Vermette. Passes around the boards for DeCarl. Back on the left point. Kasmer. And behind the net again, Vermette. To the corner. Nonis after him. Vermette keeps going. Nonis pokes it away and knocks it all the way down. Good hustle by Dave Nonis, the senior from British Columbia. Brought in over the line. A 2-on-1. Vermette goes to the front. Scott King poked it away. Vermette couldn't get it. King dove out and played it. It comes out to center ice. Kesmer. For DeCarl. They'll work it in again. Vermette tied up by Beers. DeCarl's got it back. Back toward the point with it. He skates to the middle. Dumps it off. Beside the net. Vermette in front. Broken up. Beers. Clears it up. Not out. At the left point, Kesmer threw it in deep. Vermette's there. They need some defenders back there now. Kesmer's got it in the right wing corner. Back to the point. Fake the shot. Passed into the corner. Dumped back in for Vermette. He centers. Broken up Jenkins. Good anticipation by Todd Jenkins. 38 seconds left on the penalty to Eric Weinrich. In the left corner to Carl. DeCarl spins away from Beers. Recovers the puck. DeCarl back in the point. Cernich. And beside the net. Vermette shoots. Saved by King. Loose puck. Near the goal. King comes out. Looks to cover it up. He does.
I'll say one thing. You know, the University of Maine has been very effective this year in killing penalties with what you basically call a pressure-type man-down situation. But I think in this type of ice surface, they're starting to get themselves in a little bit of trouble. They're forcing those penalty killers to do an awful lot of unnecessary skating. And as you can see there, they're getting themselves in a tough situation with people out of position.
There are a lot of tempers in this game, too, so far.
I think you can see there one of the defensemen was caught on the other side of the rink, and he just doesn't have time to recover. As the old adage goes, the puck moves a lot faster than those bodies out there.
That was an attempted kick, and King came out and smothered it. Lake Superior's already lost one goal because they kicked the puck, and it went in. 2-1, Maine still leads, despite the fact that Lake Superior is playing awfully well, and they have been for just about 20 minutes of hockey. The puck is dropped on the face-off, and they'll do it again. 23 seconds left on Eric Weinrich's penalty. 14-14 in the second period. Face-off to the left of Scott King. Big crowd at Lake Placid, mostly Maine fans. Claudio Scremin for the Bears. He's tied up by Harris, and we'll get a whistle and a face-off coming up. 14:08 to go in the second period. 2-1, Maine leads Lake Superior. We'll be back to Lake Placid, New York in 30 seconds.
When Central Maine Power began asking the people of Maine to help save energy, from everywhere, the answer was yes. Thousands are wrapping water heaters, signing up for low-cost home weatherization, or taking advantage of low-interest loans. Developers are building good sense homes. How much more energy we save depends on all of us, from Maine's largest cities to the last house on the line.
Say yes, say yes, say yes.
Jablonski throws it toward the front. Loose puck in the slot, cleared away by Beers of Maine. Dave Capuano, end-to-end action right now. David's in over the line. He'll wind up and shoot, and a save made by Hoffert. Capuano's got both of Maine goals. DeCarl has Lake Superior's. Here come the Lakers again. Jablonski tied up by Beers. Loose puck collected by Weinrich around the boards for Guidotti. Back out to center ice. Corkum, now Thayer. Mario Thayer's into the middle, cuts right, backhand save, Hoffert. Rebound, Thayer back toward the front. Guidotti can't get the shot off as he was tied up by Hewson. A good play by Hewson. Mario Thayer is really flying out there right now. Lalonde for Maine. Skates in front of the net, confident. Sophomore, almost lost it to Vermette rather. And he gets it off to Guidotti around the boards for Beers. Corkum of Maine, fans on it, knocked back in deep. Vermette will go after it. Guidotti falls down. Vermette's got it in the left wing corner. Both teams back at full strength, by the way. 2-1 Maine with 12:42 to go in the second period. NCAA semifinal action from Lake Placid. Johnson nailed by Lalonde. Loose puck collected by Hewson to the middle. Backhands it in front. King covers up. Knocked wide on the rebound. Picked up behind the net again. More pressure by Lake Superior. Hewson in the right wing corner. Back to Johnston. He'll shoot. Save King. Rebound loose in the slot. Wensley had it. Corkum takes it for Maine. Bob Corkum in over the line. He'll cut right. He'll fire. Knocked wide by the goaltender Hofford. He'll cover up. We'll have a face-off in the Lake Superior zone as Corkum gets in a little battle. Lots of action here tonight, Mike.
There's no question. You see Bobby Corkum coming on the right side. Bobby Corkum definitely has a pro-style shot. He can get that baby off quick, and as you can see there, he had a very effective shot. I just want to make a comment on the play down here on the other end of the rink, Joe. You know, you looked at 20, 25 seconds where the Maine team got themselves in an extreme amount of trouble, and you look at the one reason why is Christian Milan is trying to skate that puck out of the zone. They got to get back to the puck movement, and I can't stress that point enough at this point.
The face-off is coming up in the Lake Superior zone. The Maine fans start to make some noise here and clap in unison. The band is playing. Great moment for Maine fans. Off the draw, it's knocked in wide of the Lake Superior goal. Played up along the boards by Cernich. McHugh picked it off for Maine. He's broken up. DeCarl has it. Now he'll bring it out to center ice. Chance for a 3-on-2 if they hurry. DeCarl in over the line to the right side. He'll drop for Kesmer, who shoots in the save made by King. He didn't want to hold it, but he did. Long enough to get the whistle, and we'll have a face-off in the Maine zone.
Very nice 3-on-2 play there by Lake Superior. See, you can see DeCarl, he'll take the defenseman out. He's going to basically just screen that defenseman out, and he gives that player a free shot.
King hung right in there, made the save. He tried to get rid of it before he got the whistle, but he was just about a second too late.
I'll say one thing. You're not going to be able to give Lake Superior too many more of those chances because they're going to ding one home here pretty quick.
2-1, Maine still leads. DeCarl after it. He bumps King in behind the net. King's got no stick. Cernich plays it. Back in the corner. King without a stick. DeCarl tied up by Jack Capuano. Golden fires it off into the corner. Jack gets the stick. Now it will be kept in at the point by Palumbo in front. Score! DeCarl ties it up for Lake Superior. It almost came out of the zone. Palumbo made a great play at the blue line to keep it in, and we're tied at 2.
Well, as we said earlier in the ball game, I think when you come into this tournament, there isn't any one team that has the advantage. It's an even ball game from the start all the way through.
11:37 to go in the second period, and Lake Superior has tied this game at 2. At the blue line, the key play was made, Mike, and then they threw it back in front. DeCarl just made a nice tip.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Claudio Scremen was caught without a stick. He ended up giving his stick to Scott King earlier on. Scott King got his goaltender stick back, and unfortunately, Claudio wasn't able to get his stick back.
Maine bench wants a penalty on Chapdelaine for hitting from behind. They will not get it. The puck is worked into the Lake Superior zone and then flipped onto the Maine bench. Back over the Maine bench and into the crowd. Carl Walsh making the interference sign down on the bench. Todd Studnicka on the ice for Maine, number 23, the senior from Chatham, Ontario. His last game as a collegian will be Saturday. He hopes that it's the championship game and not the consolation game.
It'd be a nice way to go out for a lot of these fellas.
11:20 to go in the second period. 2-2 is our score. David Capuano has both of Maine's goals, and Mike DeCarl has both of Lake Superior's. Capuano's came in the first 3 minutes. At 52 seconds and 2:48 of the first period. Stauber flips it in wide of the Maine net. Chases it down, back in behind the net. Hit by Nonis. Stauber grabs Nonis around the head, pulls his helmet off. Nothing called. Back in behind the net. Beers chasing. They want to work it in front. Stauber looking to get toward the front. He's battling with Nonis. More pressure by the Lakers. Laprade behind the net. Stauber in front. Score! Dowd will get it. And the Lakers go on top 3-2. Dave Nonis angry. And a penalty wasn't called and his helmet was pulled off.
The perfect example here, Joe. You watch in front of the net, some of the defensive players are getting mesmerized by that puck. And players are sneaking in right behind some of the Maine guys. There you can see one of the Maine guys trying to recover too late. I think has Mario Tyer there that was a step or two behind the play.
Tyer did lose Jim Dowd, and suddenly Lake Superior's on top 3-2. Lalonde to the right side with it. Again, Maine needs a spark from somebody. Milan in a battle back there. Jablonski knocks him down, takes the puck. Almost stolen by Dave Capuano in deep, but Johnston's got it. And here come the Lakers again. Jablonski down the left side. Scrumming after him. Dumped back in deep. Played back there by Harris. Taken away by Jablonski. Scrumming for Maine. Lake Superior just dominating this game right now. Jack Capuano can't get it. Jablonski does. Wheels in front. Save King. He'll knock it away. A big save by Scott King. 10-13 left in the second period. 3-2 Lake Superior. Jack Capuano in a battle with Harris. Harris wants to keep it going. Kicking at it. Now he'll freeze it. We'll have a face-off. Back in the Maine zone.
Well, I'll say one thing, if you want to relate this game to the game of football, and they talk so oftentimes about controlling that football and not letting your other team have a chance to score. This is exactly what Lake Superior State is doing with that puck. I think if you look at the amount of time that that puck has been on the main stick, it's been very little, and that's one of the reasons why this game is starting to take a swing with the Lake Superior State advantage at this point.
Really scary. Maine has had very, very few shots on goal in this period. We'll get the official count between periods. Just a couple, though. 3-2, Lake Superior leads Maine. 10:03 left in period number 2. Maybe the big Maine crowd will get into this game a bit more and make a difference.
I think right now, Joe, the guys that are going to make the difference are the ones down there on the bench, and they're just going to have to start working a lot harder here if they want to turn this game around.
Face off in the Maine zone. It'll be Dave Wensley and Craig Hewson. It comes to Guidotti. Skates with it, passes to center ice. Broken up and cleared back in. Guidotti gloves it down. He'll play it. Vince Guidotti in over the line down the left side. Cuts into the corner, looks to angle in front. Swept off his stick and cleared away in a nice defensive play by Cernich of Lake Superior. Cleared ahead. Cernich broke it up. Guidotti's got it. Vince Guidotti skates in down the left side. He'll shoot. Broken up again by Cernich. He goes into the left wing corner. Cord Cernich up to Vermette. Vermette checked off the play. Loose puck, and they'll tie it up in the Lake Superior zone. Wensley up in there working hard. Got the face-off with Vermette. And McHugh, Perron, and Golden will come out for a face-off in the Lake Superior end with 9:33 to go in a slow-moving second period.
Definitely a different style of period we're seeing here. The first compared to the first period, nice slow game. We're seeing a little bit more of a disjointed type of period right now.
That's what Lake Superior coach Frank Anzalone wants. That's what he's got. His team's up now 3-2. Beers in the middle, a save by Hoffert. Fired in wide now by Golden for McHugh. McHugh's checked. McHugh's knocked down. Loose puck behind the goal. Perron into the corner. Guy Perron battling for it. Gets it to Golden. Golden throws it through the crease. No one there. Beers off the side boards in front. Save by Hoffert. Rebound loose in front to Carl. Clears. And a chance for Lake Superior on the break here. To Carl in down the left side. Shoots in the save made by King. In the left wing corner, it's dumped in by Barnett. Around the corner to Carl. To Carl back in behind. Barnett after it there. He's tied up by Mike Golden. Loose puck in behind the main goal again. McHugh bumped, works it over to Beers. Beers handling it, looking for someone to pass to. Keeps going, throws it across for McHugh. Off the side boards at center ice. McHugh can't get around Shep Delane, and Golden will collect it. Throws it back in front. Palumbo picks it off. He'll come in with it. Palumbo shoots a save made by King. The rebound knocked wide by DeCarl. 3-2 Lake Superior. Golden's got it. He's into the middle. Fires it in front. Hoffert lets it go. Perron after it. Throws it in behind for Mike McHugh with a little room. Room in the offensive zone with the puck has been a rare thing for Maine players, despite the wide surface. LaPrade over the line. He'll fire. It's tipped up into the crowd off the stick of Claudio Scrummon, and with 8:13 to go in the second period, we'll have a face-off coming up. Lake Superior leads Maine by a score of 3-2. We'll be back to Lake Placid in 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's over. We have nothing in common.
Never agreed on one thing. Ever.
Great. I'm too good for him.
I can do better.
I need to find someone
more like me.
When you find something you have so much in common with, something so unique, so refreshing,
Hi.
you just can't stop yourself from grabbing it and holding on to it forever.
Welcome back to Lake Placid. Joe Carl along with Mike Piette. Lake Superior leads Maine 3-2. Fired in and hit the post. Terry Hosick let it go and it hit the post. Lake Superior has hit the post twice in this second period, while scoring 2 goals and having another one waved off. They're controlling play. 8 minutes to go. until the break. Off the board, Scrimmin around the net. Starts up with it. Jack Capuano in the middle, looking for Jim Burke. They can't connect, but Lake Superior is forced back in deep with it. Dowd up for Laprade. Laprade can't handle it. Jenkins does. For Burke to the middle, shoots wide. Off the end board, Scrimmin clears it around and in deep. Studnicka after it, can't reach it. And the Lakers will get it again. They'll clear. Tipped through center ice all the way down into the Maine end. No icing because King will be forced to play it since it's on goal. Scrimmin for Maine. Up ahead for Jenkins. The Jackson Jet is on the fly through center ice down the left side. Keeps going. Todd Jenkins around behind the net. Tied up. Wants to keep going with it in the right wing corner. Brings it back toward Weinrich. Weinrich can't collect it. Thrown back in wide for Dave Capuano. He can't reach it. Hossack's got it. Around the boards, and Lake Superior will start out with it. Harris handles it off on the left side. It'll be cleared in by the Lakers' Pete Stauber. Weinrich for Maine. Skating with it in his own end. Weinrich keeps going. Pulled down. Penalty coming up. And it will be on Lake Superior. Maine with their second power play of the game. Guadadian fires. Save made by Hoffert. Thayer after it, but it's touched by Lake Superior, and the Bears will have a man advantage. They're 1-for-1, Mike. They got the goal at 2:48 of the first period by Dave Capuano on the power play and haven't had one since.
Well, they were very effective on that first one. It'll be interesting to see what type of adjustments Lake Superior State's going to make here at this point with Maine power play.
Coach Walsh brings the power play unit over for a couple of words. It'll be Thayer, Lalonde, Perron, Nonis, and Wensley going out there. Is what you would call the second power play unit for Maine. The penalty goes on Dean Dyer. Hooking will be the call as he pulled Eric Weinrich down. Weinrich stick handling and skating in his own end. And Dyer got behind and was called for the penalty. The Maine fans making a lot of noise. Could be an important 2 minutes in this game. Lake Superior has taken a 3-2 lead over the Black Bears. Mario Thayer wins the draw, chases it down in the right wing corner. Back along the boards for Lalonde. Wensley goes to the front. Lalonde from Perron. Skates in with it. Thayer behind the net, now to the corner. Thayer cuts out to the front, throws it in there, broken up and cleared by the Lakers all the way down into the Main end.
Have to be patient on these power plays.
Guy Perron around the net. Starts up with it. No forechecking by Lake Superior. Now Vermette comes in late, but Wensley's got it. Wensley banks it, broken up by Palumbo. Big check along the boards by Lalonde. Nonis has it across to Perron. He can't reach it, and he'll chase it down in his own end. Now Vermette's in there. After the puck, Nonis has it. Up quickly to Thayer. Thayer and Lalonde crisscross. Thayer tripped up, brings it in, though, to Lalonde. Lalonde will dump it in behind the net. Wensley comes up to play it. Worked past him, though, and Vermette will clear it out. What a great penalty killer Vermette is. The All-American team named today, David and Jack Capuano, both first-teamers. McHugh is in, onside. McHugh to the front. He goes behind Dave Capuano. Back toward Jack Capuano, broken up by Stauber. Now Stauber clears. Perron inadvertently brings it over the line. Maine is offside with 54 seconds left on the penalty to Dean Dyer.
Tell you one, the key to these power plays, and I can't say it enough. You know, I think if we remember how Lake Superior played their power play chance several minutes ago, they were very patient, moved that puck around for the opening, and I think that's what Maine's going to have to do here as well.
Mike McHugh had a chance here. Mike King found him way up ahead. He made the pass in front.
He sure did. I'll tell you, the number 3 there, the defenseman from Lake Superior, did a great job recovering on that play.
That's Cord Cernich. He's a second-team All-CCHA performer. A sophomore from Anchorage, Alaska. 36 points in his second season. Only 2 seniors on this team. Well, they'll be scary a year or two. Pretty scary right now. Back into the Maine zone, Jack Capuano. He'll set up. The Lakers lead Maine 3-2 with 5:32 to go in the second period of the NCAA semifinal game. Off the boards, Golden tips it around the man. He'll chase it down, Golden will. That's Cernich there on defense. Golden to the right wing corner. Dumps it in for McHugh. Dave Capuano, Maine on the power play. David has 2 goals tonight. Stick handles. Still going. Back to Weinrich. Weinrich winds up, fires in front. Broken up by the goalie. And Golden was there but couldn't get it. Jack Capuano, Weinrich, one times it wide. Off the boards. Played by McHugh. He couldn't get it. Stauber will try to clear. Jack Capuano comes up and plays it in the middle for David. It's knocked away from him and all the way down into the Maine end with 10 seconds left on the power play. Good work on the power play by Maine, but they couldn't put one home. Lake Superior 3-2 right now. Jack Capuano for McHugh. He's in over the line. McHugh fires over the net. The penalty's over. Off the boards, cleared around and out by Lake Superior. Jack Capuano back hands it ahead. Dyer broke it up and brought it in. Played wide of the net by Harris. Harris came in, couldn't get it off cleanly. Now loose near the goal. Still loose in there. Dangerous moment for Maine. King covers up as Harris is dumped by Jack Capuano. And we'll have a face-off in the Maine end with 4:31 to go in the second period.
I'm a little surprised at this point after seeing Maine play such a strong game defensively against Bowling Green to see them giving up the 3-on-2s and the 2-on-1s with such magnitude this early in the ball game.
3-2 Lake Superior could be worse right now, easily. Kind of a dangerous spot here for Maine. That puck got free, Mike, and nobody really was able to cover it up.
Did a good job there again. Eric Weiner's doing a good job keeping the loose sticks away from Scott King and tying that puck up.
Maine scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of this game. They haven't scored yet. In the meantime, Lake Superior's tallied 3 times, and they lead Maine 1-0. The winner of this game plays for the national championship on Saturday night against either Minnesota or St. Lawrence. Harris and Nonis battle. Loose puck cleared to the point. Johnston fires it in. King loves it. Scott King will hold on. He'll have a face-off in his own zone.
Here again, Joe, you know, you talk about being efficient, being very efficient in this hockey game, and I'll explain my point a little bit more, is that Maine's spending an awful lot of time getting tied up with the Lake Superior State players. Consequently, if they're being tied up, they really can't break to that open ice for the passing game. Consequently, I think that's one of the big reasons why this game is starting to slow down a little bit.
It's to their advantage, certainly. Dyer and Wensley on the face-off. Referee sees something he doesn't like. Dave Nonis coming in a little too close. Stops play. Played by Harris in the corner. Wensley, or rather Nonis, battling. Dyer in there. So is Wensley. Now Major will take over for Maine. Bruce Major, right wing for Corkum. Can't reach it. Played back ahead by Lake Superior. Controlled by the Bears. Nonis, now Wensley. Over the line, to the middle, in front. Corkum can't get the bouncing puck. He'll go after it in the right wing corner. Tied up in deep for Major. Major and Corkum both there. Cleared along the boards to the side. Jablonski skates with it. Passes in the middle. Kept in. Wensley shoots. Save. Rebound. Corkum. Another save. And it's knocked away by Dyer. 2 good stops by Hoffert. Corkum with a good chance on the rebound. Couldn't get it home. Dyer fires it down into the Maine end. Off the boards. Played by King. Beers with it for Maine. Bruce Major tips it in. And Major heads to the bench. Major in the lineup tonight, replacing Chris Cambio. Major hasn't played for a while, has not scored a goal this year. Knocked ahead into the zone. King comes out and plays it with Vermette right on the doorstep. Courageous play by Scott King. Back in behind the goal, Mario Thyard digging for it. One hands it up to Dave Capuano, knocked away from him. Back in deep, Vermette, left wing corner. What a great player he is. Back on the left point, though. It goes through Chapdelaine and all the way down. He'll chase it down in his own end. Thyard forechecking. Now Lalonde in, too. Nails Chapdelaine. But he works the puck past Mario Thyard and out to Breslin. Breslin cuts right. Houston in. Dumps it wide. Eric Weinrich and Breslin battle. Breslin falls. Weinrich has it. Skating down the right side, the former Olympian, tied up by Vermette. Gets it to Lalonde, though. Christian Lalonde flips it up high in the air. It goes into the crowd. I don't think that's what he wanted, but that's what he got. We'll have a face-off with 2:38 left in the second period, and Lake Superior leading Maine 3-2.
You can start to see the intensity starting to pick up a little bit. And you know, about 10 minutes ago, I talked about maybe the Maine team lacking a little bit of work ethic. Now that I think, well, I think you really have to give the Lake Superior State a lot of credit. You look at the last couple of these rushes, Lake Superior's got three people back defensively, and they're really not giving Maine any superior type of offensive advantage entering that offensive zone.
Do you sense the Bears are playing a little better in the last Ismer? In the middle, Dowd over the line, and that's a clear offside call against Lake Superior's Pete Stauber. Some of the Laker fans didn't like it, but he was way offside. And that will cause a face-off between the blue lines with 2:26 left. Several empty seats here at Lake Placid tonight.
It's a very impressive arena here we have, Joe.
Sure is.
This is first time in here, and it's a very nice setup. I couldn't imagine what it was like in here probably about 8 years ago.
Just beautiful. Cernich clears it in right to left behind the main goal. King can't reach it. Scrumming after it. He's bumped in there. Loose puck. Everybody after it now. Mike Golden for Maine. Up looking for Perron. He's tied up, though, along the sideboards by Kesmer. We'll have another face-off in the main zone with 2:10 to go in the second period.
You know, if you notice that play right there, Joe, I think that's the difference between the way these two teams are forechecking. Lake Superior State, they're sending that defenseman in on that wing on the half court to keep the pressure on, versus Maine, their defensemen are backing out and they're giving that the opposition that type of breakout. So I think you know, we may see some type of adjustment here coming in the third period with regard to that issue.
Off the face-off, it bounces high in the air. Beers after it, so's Mike Golden. Dowd of Lake Superior comes away to Kesmer, ahead to Dowd. On the left side, he backhands it in deep. Laprade in there after it. Don Laprade winds it around the board. Cernich steps up to play it. Bumps Mike McHugh, kept in, fired wide. Laprade can't reach it. Played at the left point by Kesmer, in deep again. More pressure by Lake Superior. Dave Nonis falls down, loose behind the goal. Beers comes in to help out. In front, tied up by King, knocked away. On the left side, more control by the Lakers. In deep, it goes to Laprade. He's bumped by Beers. Now Perron will just tip it through center ice, and McHugh will go after it. Cernich controls, though, for Lake Superior. He's ahead, and he's into the zone. Cernich fires and scores! 4-2, Lake Superior as Cernich gets the shot off, falling down. And he scores.
Very impressive individual effort there by Cernich, Joe. I think he had a one-on-two situation, got into a good shooting angle there and just let the puck go.
And down the right side, Mike, and the defense was there. He just got it off.
It was a great time to take that shot on the part of Cernich's part. He had Bob Beers there, the defenseman, setting up a natural screen for him. I think Scott King just had a little difficulty seeing that shot come in at him.
A perfect shot in the perfect spot. And Cernich scores the 4th straight goal for Lake Superior. 4-2. Maine has not scored a goal since the 2:48 mark of the first period. They've been shut down by the Lakers. We've got a big tussle now at center ice. It was away from the play. I did not see the beginning of it, but play is stopped and we'll most certainly have penalties here.
It's a time right now where with the Maine team down by 2 goals, they're going to have to put their personal pride in their rear pocket and take an extra stick or two to get back into this ballgame at this point, because they really can't afford to take an unnecessary penalty or the chance of taking another disadvantage or giving Lake Superior a chance at another power play in this situation.
Each team will lose a man for 2 minutes. With 1:16 to go in the second period, Dave Capuano will go off for the Bears. He's being spoken to from the other side by Brett Barnett, the freshman from Toronto. Barnett with 16 goals as a freshman. Productive player, plays on a line with DeCarl and Palumbo. Roughing will be the calls against those players, and we'll have the face-off to the right of Scott King. Lake Superior with 3 second period goals has taken a 2-goal lead over Maine now to score 4-2 with 1:16 to go in this second period. Lots of ice out there with each team a man short. Face-off, though, in the Maine zone. Guidotti and Lalonde out there, along with Thayer and Weinrich. Scott King in the Maine net. Off the face-off, it's backhanded ahead. Taken by Palumbo and dumped back in deep. Weinrich for Maine. Lalonde breaks ahead. They can't get it to him, so Thayer will take it off the boards. Mario Thayer in, 1-on-2, cuts right. Thayer keeps going around the net. Thayer keeps control. Right wing corner in front. Weinrich on the backhand. Shoots, save, rebound. Knocked away by Palumbo of Lake Superior. Cleared up and out. Weinrich back to get it for Maine with 47 seconds left. Vince Guidotti has lost his stick, and then he gets a stick in his side. Holds on to it. Play continues. Now we've got the whistle. It will be stopped. Guidotti and Vermette in a little bit of a battle there. Now, Guidotti a little slow to get up. And there will be no more penalties called.
Tell you, I don't know if that that interchange was on camera, but that was a physical set of contact there between Vermette and Vince Guidotti. I'll tell you one thing. For Vermette being a 195-pounder, I'm very impressed with the skills that he has, and he's not only a very skilled player, but he's a very intense individual out there.
Just a junior, 73 points coming into this game. Can really play. A Hobie Baker finalist, an All-American. Has all the ability you can imagine. 4-2, Lake Superior leads Maine with 40 seconds to go in the second period.
Just happened to see that Vince Guidotti just happened to break an aluminum stick in half there. Making a hit against Vermette.
Not easy to do. Lots of these guys use the aluminum sticks that have replaceable blades. It's kind of an interesting idea. Weinrich has one with a gold shaft.
And it's a lot of personal feel. You get used to that stick and feels good in your hands, and you know, it's a lot of superstition involved there with having that that same stick around for a while.
Rob Stauber and Mike McHugh on the face-off. 4-on-4 for the last 40 seconds of this period. Beers for Maine and over the line. Broken up by Stauber. Kept in. No, not kept in. It will be an offside call against the Bears. And Stauber got it past McHugh. 34 seconds to go in the period. Maine scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes. Lake Superior got one back late in the first period, and they've scored 3 in the second period and lead the Bears 4-2. 20 minutes and 34 seconds left in regulation of this game. Corkum on the face-off with Dowd. Knocked away, and it goes to Stauber. Poked off his stick by Mike McHugh. McHugh circling back around the net on the right side with it. Banks it for Corkum. Corkum looks to avoid Dowd. Dowd in there, though, almost takes it away. Now knocks it free, and Beers gets it. 15 seconds to go in the period. Jack Capuano for Maine. Off on the right side, he'll go. Beers is in. Sets up, fires it in the left wing corner. 5 seconds left. Loose along the side boards. At the blue line now, Stauber kicks it out. 1 second, that's it. Well, there aren't very many Lake Superior fans here, but the ones who are here are ecstatic. Their team played a great second period to take a 4-2 lead over a frustrated Maine team as they go to the locker room for this second intermission. Certainly plenty of time, Mike, for Maine to come back. What do they have to do?
Well, I think, you know, when you look at these last 2 periods and you look at what makes up a good national championship hockey team, you have to look at their ability to play under pressure. Lake Superior is down by 2 goals. They come back. They played very well under pressure. They scored 4 straight goals. Now I think it's up to Maine and to play under the same type of pressure and for them to answer to the bell at this point.
Toward the latter part of that period, forget about the 4th goal, but except for that, Maine was really playing better both defensively and offensively, weren't they? And with more confidence?
Yeah, there's no question that they're playing a little bit better, and Lake Superior State isn't doing anything out of the ordinary. They're not getting any fluke-type goals. They're working hard. They're working hard for their chances, and I think that's one of the reasons why you see them being very successful in what they're trying to do out there in the offensive zone for themselves.
Do you see anything that they can do, Lake Superior, or Maine rather, can do to use this wide ice a little bit better?
Well, as I said, you know, they have to get away from the stick swinging and the physical type ball game. They have to break to the open ice, and they have to move that puck. You know, as I said, and I said it before, the puck moves a lot faster than the bodies out there, and if they move that puck and start putting Lake Superior in the disadvantage or the pressure situations, I think they're going to have quite a bit more success.
Okay, the score is 4-2 after 2 periods of play. Lake Superior leads Maine. Let's go back to the Channel 5 studios in Bangor and Tim Throckmorton.
Thanks very much, Joe. Lake Superior now with scoring the last 4 goals, but of course it's not over yet. Maine has a whole 20 minutes of ice time to get 2 more goals tied up and put it into overtime if necessary. In between periods 2 and 3, we'll have a special guest back at the rink, plus first period highlights as well as second period highlights. All that coming up in just moments. Don't go away.
Robin Leach on becoming rich and famous.
Austin Pendleton III, global trading tycoon worth a cool $6 billion. The Empress Ludmilla von Tarsberg, her riches total over $75 million. And Gern Blinstead, recent Tri-State Megabucks winner. In just one night, he made over $1 million. The price of fame and fortune? Why, it could be just $1.
Tri-State Megabucks. Play this week and just imagine.
Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, 3 hot new Pontiacs you can buy for under $10,000 at your Maine Pontiac dealers. That's right, under $10,000, but that's not the best part. If you qualify as a first-time buyer, that is, you've never financed a new car before, your Pontiac dealer will give you $600 towards your down payment, $600 towards your new Grand Am, Sunbird, or Le Mans. Sticker price under $10,000, these are 3 of Pontiac's hottest values at your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Building for the future. A prime consideration has to be security protection for your home, your car, your business, your health, and your life. And protection means just the right insurance for your special needs. The professionals at the Varney Agency can fill that need like no one else. They're not so large that you lose that important personal attention, yet they're large enough to offer all the service and protection you'll ever need. The Varney Agency, your security is our business.
University of Maine is having possibly its best sports year in the history of the school. One of the reasons is Kevin White. Earlier, Joe Carr spoke with Maine's athletic director.
Thank you, Tim. Dr. White, your first Final Four as athletic director. It didn't take long for you to get here. In just a few months, are you having a good time here?
I got to be the luckiest athletic director in America, Joe. Yeah, we're having a great time. It's just a wonderful town, and the tradition here is just overwhelming. It's an exciting place, and as people are filling in, especially the people from Maine, it's becoming more exciting all the time.
From a practical viewpoint, what does this do for the University of Maine?
Well, I think this puts the name, the University of Maine, out there in front of the whole country. I mean, the scores from this and stories about this Final Four are going to be reported in every major market in the country, and it just affords just an inordinate amount of visibility. And it's very hard to measure those kinds of things, but, you know, a Final Four appearance is just something very, very special, and I think it'll have a long-term domino effect for the institution.
A lot of that publicity is directed toward people who are interested in sports. Does that mean better athletes get interested in the University of Maine or hear about it? Is that part of what can be accomplished by this?
Well, I think that's part of the potential domino, if you will. It should enhance our position in the marketplace for recruiting student athletes, but boy, I think it'll have a major impact on just students in general, development dollars. It allows or provides a vehicle for alums to remain or maintain a connection to the university, for the population in Maine, for all kinds of different constituent groups to get connected and maintain some kind of association with their university. So I think it does an awful lot of different things. And again, they're all very hard to measure.
Is part of it emotional? People get interested in this team and really want them to win here, and it may change the way they feel about the university, either graduates or just citizens of Maine?
I tell you, I'm a big marketing guy. You take a look at marketing theory, and if you can alter perception, you can move the world. And I think if we could, you know, just to be here, we're awfully successful. That makes a statement. But if we could possibly pull this thing off and win that, yeah, I think that does. I think that will alter the perception of the University of Maine and all those different constituent groups that I spoke about. We're an emerging athletic department. We're more importantly, I think we're an emerging institution, especially with the leadership of Dr. Lick. Good things are on the horizon, Joe.
You've had a lot of coaches work for you. You've been around coaches a lot through your career. How good is Sean Walsh?
I don't think they get much better than Sean Walsh. I was never, I don't think, any more proud to be associated with a program than I was at the press conference yesterday. I thought he was the class act at the press conference. I thought our student athletes, our captains that represented our university that were there, represented us in a very high-speed manner. You know, I think he's probably one of the best in the country. I don't think there's any question.
Dr. White, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy your time here at the Final Four.
Thank you, Joe.
Didn't take long for Kevin White, as athletic director, to get the University of Maine team to the Final Four. We'll see how they do. We'll be back as our coverage of University of Maine hockey at the Final Four continues in 90 seconds.
For 50 years in Maine, folks have put their trust in Weber, and we've worked a little harder just to earn that trust. And when it's cold, we know the job we have to do to keep you warm. That's why people put their trust in Weber.
Most companies charge about the same for heating oil. The big difference is the level of service you get.
That's why people put their trust in Weber. We put know-how in your hands, Darling's Auto Parts.
And put savings in your hands with Gabriel Shock Specials at Darling's Auto Parts. Do it yourself and save. Install Gabriel gas rider shocks for more responsive car handling over ordinary shocks. Now a low $19.99 each at Darling's. For light trucks, RV, or van, get Gabriel gas rider LTs. Limited time offer $29.99 each. Gabriel gas rider shock specials now at Darling's Auto Parts.
Hi, Mommy, I'm home.
Hi, honey, I'm sewing. I left milk and cookies on the table.
I wish I didn't have to eat alone.
You're not alone. I'm here.
You're the TV cow from Grant. Did you come to see me?
Yep, I enjoy visiting boys and girls who drink fresh, healthful milk from Grant's Dairy. Good milk, isn't it?
Is there someone with you, Christina?
Only the little cow from Grant.
I didn't know I left the TV on.
Maine Black Bears came out of flying tonight in the first period, and they really had the best of Lake Superior State. Let's check out the highlights going back to period number 1, first of all. It was less than a minute into the game when the Black Bears found the back of the net. It was Dave Capuano, too, who was earlier in the day voted first-team All-American along with his brother. His 32nd goal of the year, and he beats goalie Bruce Hoppert 1-0 Black Bears. 2:48 of the first period. Big Maine fan contingent waving the Hankies and all, and the Black Bears responded by Well, Dave Capuano did it again, this time a blast from center ice as he gets his 23rd goal of the year at 2:48 of the first period, and he has now 83 points on the season, assists to Mike Golden and Eric Weimrich. But the Black Bears got man of the penalty box. As a matter of fact, it was Vince Gadotti. Mike DeCarl off the face-off. Mike Golden loses the face-off, and DeCarl beats Scott King, a beautiful move inside, and the first period ended 2-1 in favor of the Maine Black Bears. Now let's go to period number 2. It was again Mike DeCarl with the goal. Guy Perron gets the puck and tries to center it, hitting his own man, but he misses. A bad centering pass. Scott King just got by him. DeCarl gets his 27th of the year. Scott King had lost his stick moments before. He gets his stick back, throws the player's stick off to the side. Just moments later, a shot came at him. It was tipped in by DeCarl, and the Black Bears, the game was all knotted up, as a matter of fact, at that point. 2-2 at 8:23 of the second period. Jim Dowd got his 17th goal of the season at 9:25 of the second period. The assist came from behind the goal from Pete Stauber, who's the brother of Hobie Baker Award winner Rob Stauber. Look at that beautiful centering pass. Jim Dowd gets the score. Then we go to late in the first period at 18:44. Cord Cernich, his 15th goal of the year. He beats Scott King in the upper left-hand corner, and it was 4-2. And that's the way the period ended, as Lake Superior State in the locker room now with a 4-2 lead. That period could have been much worse, as a goal in the early part of the period was disallowed. 2 other Lake Superior shots hit the post. So Maine down 2 goals now, but still, of course, plenty of time to come back. We'll be back with a little bit more right after this message from the NCAA.
People enjoy being part of a group. Everyone wants to be liked. But do you want to be liked for what you smoke or drink or inhale? People will like you if you like yourself. And you can't do that while you're depending on drugs and alcohol. Don't use drugs or alcohol to get through life. Think about it. You probably know and like some people who are having fun just being themselves.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
20 minutes of hockey left for the Maine Black Bears if they want to make the championship game, which will be played on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Lake Superior now with a 4-2 lead. Al, in just a moment, we'll be back at Lake Placid and, of course, the Olympic Center and third period activity. But first, this time out.
A parent's life is full of little emergencies. Fortunately, most injuries or illnesses can be treated at home with a little patience, some careful coaxing, and lots of love. But sometimes family emergencies require more serious treatment, caring hands, and lots of love. Taylor Hospital, Prompt Care Physician Service.
The best deals ever on wheels are at Darling's Nissan. 88 Nissan four-wheel drive wagon with 5-speed fuel-injected engine, just $10,659 delivered. Nissan Sentra, most trouble-free car in its class. Pickup special, brand new 87 Nissan pickup, 4-speed automatic transmission, only $69.99. Thrill to the drive of a sporty 87 Pulsar. 5-speed transmission, T-top roof starting at $10,754 delivered. Big selection, easy on-the-spot financing mean the best deals on wheels are at Darling's Nissan.
Welcome back to Lake Placid. 4-2, Lake Superior leading Maine after 2 periods in NCAA semifinal play. Tonight's episode of Knots Landing will be seen Sunday at 11:30 on Channel 5 in the Bangor area and at 11:30 on Saturday night on Channel 13 in the Portland area. So we'll still get Knots Landing to you. This will be this weekend and a little bit later at night. 4-2, Maine trails Lake Superior. Before this game, we had a chance to talk with Maine Associate Head Coach Jay Leach, and we asked Jay to assess the Lake Superior Lakers. Jay, how do you assess the Sioux Lakers?
Well, I think if we were going to take a look at them, say if they're playing in hockey, they play exactly the way Northeastern does. They're big and strong. They've got a great goaltender. Their forwards aren't fast, but they're extremely crafty. And I look to them to be fairly physical and a strong group, but I think we've got this outside edge on the speed with them. So I think we'll do fine against them.
4-2 after 2. Lake Superior leads Maine, rather. Maine scored the first 2 goals, then Lake Superior has obviously scored 4 in a row, including 3 in the second period. Mike Piet, your alma mater, is doing pretty well in college hockey this year, too, huh?
Oh, yeah, I was very happy to see that they did win the national championship. And, been a while since I've been back in the good old neighboring parts of the Midwest, but it's good to hear that things are going well for them.
The school you went to was Wisconsin,
River Falls, right.
Which is the same school that produced Dave Westby.
You're exactly right.
I assume you guys went to school together.
We played a little hockey together, and we did some other things as well.
I'm sure some people are probably wondering, since you've got out of coaching college hockey, what are you doing now?
Well, I did go back to Minnesota. I was able to get my master's degree. I joined up with 3M Company in Minnesota, and they sent me right back out east, and I'm working in the Boston area here selling for 3M Company.
You like living in Massachusetts?
Oh, yeah, I do. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm able to stay close to the Maine hockey program and hockey in general.
Governor McKernan looking on from here at Lake Placid. To his right, that's Senator Tom Perkins, the Republican floor leader in the state Senate, Blue Hill. Dr. Thomas Aceto behind the governor. Scott King and Todd Stednicka having a word around the Maine goal. 4-2, Maine trails. 20 minutes left in this season for the Bears, unless they are able to score a couple and tie it up, or score 3 and take a lead. They've got to start as usual with playing defense. Shots on goal through 2 periods. Lake Superior out shooting Maine, as we would expect, but it's a little closer than I thought. 26-24 in favor of the Sioux Lakers. 4-on-4 for the first 44 seconds of the third period. Dave Capuano of Maine and Brett Barnett of Lake Superior are off in their respective penalty boxes. These first 44 seconds, Mike, could be pretty important, couldn't they?
Oh, they sure can. They're going to set the tone right off.
Weinrich with it, hustles it into the zone, wide of the goal. Harford, who's played well, he made some nice saves in that second period in particular, up to DeCarl. Now they'll go around the boards with it. And it's played by Kesmer, taken away, though, by Mike McHugh. Golden over to help out. The seniors. Now back in behind the net, Kesmer and McHugh have a battle. It goes around to Kesmer. 22 seconds left on the penalties. Out to center ice, Weinrich right there. Guidotti tips it ahead, looking for McHugh. It goes behind him, brought in, shot in wide of the Maine net. King will play it. Up to McHugh now. Golden in his skate goes behind him. McHugh recovers it. Mike McHugh skates with it, dumps it in. It will go wide of the Lake Superior net. No icing. Cleared off the boards, though, by the Lakers. Brought in. They tried to break a man. He fell down, though. Did DeCarl, and that will be an icing call against Lake Superior, and a draw in their zone as the penalties have expired with 19:13 to go. In the third period, Lake Superior leading Maine 4-2.
I'll be very interested to see what type of changes Maine has made in the locker room here, Joe. Obviously, they do have to start putting a little bit more pressure on and change the flow of this game right from the outset.
What are the options, or some of the options?
Well, I guess, as I said before, they were a little bit passive in their forecheck. The Lake Superior State, they were basically what you call crashing their defensemen. And I'd be interested to see if Maine takes a similar type approach in preventing Lake Superior State to break out of the defensive zone as easy as they have so far.
Lalonde in the left wing corner looking for Thayer in front. Can't get it to him. Thayer battling. Loose puck in the right side now. Back toward Beers at the point. Poked past him by Houston and all the way down into the Maine zone. Breslin, rather. Got the stick on that. Dave Nonis around the net. Starts up with it. Passes in the middle. Mario Thayer, right side. Dave Capuano in. Top of the circle. Back for Thayer on the right. Mario Thayer controlling. In the middle, Beers. He'll set up. He'll fire, and a save made by Hoppert. Beers got the shot off. Nonis heads off. Jack Capuano comes on. Thayer working to keep it in. Vermette in the corner. Dave Capuano digs it out. Pressure by Maine. David hacked out from behind. Pokes it in wide of the goal. And Hoppert will glove it. Probably a smart move on his part. He'll hold on. They'll face off in the Lake Superior end as the Maine fans show their appreciation for a pretty good shift. A couple of good opportunities by Maine. Hoppert, just a freshman. He was first-team All-CCHA goalie. He's from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, 21-4-3 on the season. A 2.64 goals against average and a .907 save percentage. Just outstanding statistics for a goaltender. 18:26 to go in the third. 4-2. Lake Superior leads Maine. The winner gets to play for the national championship on Saturday night. Wensley on the faceoff. Major comes in, tries to get it. Now Corkum to dig it out. Corkum spilled, though, and it's knocked along the side boards where it will not be cleared out. Yeah, I guess it was. There was a whistle. Came just over the line, hit the linesman.
You know, it'll be interesting to see here how Maine does react to the defensive abilities that Lake Superior State has. And what I mean by that, Joe, is that the play is congested down in the corners in front of the net, And I've been starting to notice that the Maine defensemen are open on the points, and I'll be interested to see if some of the forwards start moving the puck back and opening up that down low area.
Stauber gets it to Hosick. He's bothered by the forechecking Dave Wensley, but works it around the boards. And it will be brought up by Harrison around into the Maine end. Played by King behind the net for Scrimmin. Maine in a 2-goal hole right here. 4-2, Jack Capuano. For Corkum. Got it in his skate. Works it ahead, though. Major into the zone. Corkum hustling after it. Corkum in a battle. He's run into the boards hard. That can be dangerous. And he's okay. Corkum can't pick his stick up. The puck is loose. It's worked right behind him. And recovered by Stauber. He starts up with it. This is Pete Stauber, the sophomore brother of the Minnesota goalie who won the Hobie Baker Award yesterday. He dumps it in. Played by Weinrich behind the goal. Eric Weinrich being chased by Dyer. Collects it in the middle for Golden. Golden will wind it in left to right. Hoffert will get out and play it. Good job by the goalie. Jablonski on the left side. Can't control it. Perron there. Bumps into Weinrich. Neither one can get it. Jablonski after Weinrich. Weinrich backhands it ahead. Dyer can't control. Perron throws it toward the middle. Jablonski right there, though. Sometimes it almost looks like Lake Superior is using another player. So good defensively.
Yeah, they really have. Maine
Perron with a break. He comes in on Hoffert. Shoots it wide. Off the rebound in front. Rebound. Golden score! 4-3. Golden fouled it up.
Individual effort, and that's what it's going to take to get back into this ball game, Joe.
I'm not surprised Mike Golden got this big goal. Guy Perron made it happen, Mike.
Nice play by Hoffert there.
Couldn't get control of the rebound, though.
I'll tell you so much. You know, you think you're on the other end of the rink and you're not in the play, and I'll tell you, you just put that little extra effort and you end up getting a great scoring chance like Mike Golden did, and that's going to turn out to be a very important play right here.
Mike Golden started out the season so great. Nobody could have continued to play the way he did. He's played well all season. Was in a scoring slump, though. Has been. Only 4 goals in the last 20 games. Mike Golden did not have many bad games this year.
Played very, very consistent, and I think that's one of the keys to the Maine success this year.
Barnett and DeCarl crisscross behind the net. Beers forechecking. Maine can't have a letdown now. They've cut it to 4-3 with 16:33 to go in the third. DeCarl to the middle on the forehand. Broken up by Nonis. He's dangerous. He's quite an offensive player. Has 2 goals tonight. Dave Capuano around to Beers. Beers clears it, trying for the long pass. That won't work. Broken up, knocked back in, knocked down by Dave Nonis. Nonis banks it. Mario Thayer down the right wing side. Thayer goes wide, cuts to the front. Thayer keeps going, swept away. An excellent defensive play by Chuck Delane. Cleared past Claudio Scremin, now past Lalonde at center, and DeCarl is in. DeCarl and Palumbo 2-on-2, a shot, save, King, rebound, knocked wide. A good chance for Lake Superior and Palumbo, but he knocked it wide. Hosick at center, fires it in. King can't stop it. It goes around, just misses Palumbo's helmet. Back on the point, shot in wide. Carl Johnston took that shot. He's had at least 2 shots in this game, and they're both rockets. Great hard shot from that point. Scrumman playing without a stick. Lost control of the puck. Breslin to Vermette. Vermette is in the middle. A break-in, a shot, save, King! Greg Houston came in alone, and Scott King robbed him.
You know, I'm going to say one thing, Joe, and I think it was very evident in those last 2 or 3 bounces of the puck. At this point in the game, you cannot be optimistic and hope that puck bounces on your stick, and that's what happened. Lake Superior got the 2 bounces. They get a 1-on-0 break. Scott King comes up, but they can't afford to let Lake Superior have those chances.
4-3. Lake Superior leads Maine. 15:25 to go in the third period. Shaping up to be quite a finish. The face-off to the left of Scott King. Dave Wensley and Craig Houston. Houston's a senior. There are just 2 on this Lake Superior team. Terry Hosick is the other one. Corkum will come in instead of Wensley to take the face-off. Loose in the circle, knocked out of the zone by the Bears. All the way back into the Lake Superior end. A race for it. Wensley's in trying to get it. Johnston gets there first, circles the net. Stops. Wensley forechecking. Breslin has it. Skates to the middle. Passes off on the right wing. Weinrich with a check on Vermette. Knocks the puck free to Vince Guidotti. Now Wensley tips it into the zone. He's bumped. Hosick has it. Osick starts out with it, throws it through center ice all the way down into the main end. King gets out to play it. We've got a whistle and a penalty coming up. 4-3, Lake Superior leads Maine with 14:55 left in the third period. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Being cool you find is a state of mind, a refreshing attitude when things get hot. Cool is all you got, doing it country cool. Mountain Dew, so chill on out when the heat comes on with the cool, smooth Mountain Dew. Doing it country cool. Mountain Dew, doing it country cool.
Dave Wensley off for cross-checking at 5:05 of the third period. Lake Superior with the power play, leading Maine 4-3. And a big 2 minutes coming up. The Bears have just scored. Mike Golden got one to cut the 4-2 lead for Lake Superior to 4-3, but now the Lakers are on the power play. Cernich knocked it ahead. Now it's cleared past him at the right point and all the way down into the Lakers' end. Golden and Dyer. Dyer back there for Lake Superior, the Sioux Lakers from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Kesmer over the line, brings it in. Behind the net, Dave Nonis back to get it for Maine. Fires it around the boards, and out McHugh will get it. Mike McHugh will break in short-handed. McHugh to the foot, can't get the shot out. Went right through the crease with it, had a bad angle from the beginning and couldn't get it off. Kesmer plays it up to center ice. 4-3, Lake Superior. Brought in by Kesmer. He leaves for DeCarl. He's got two. So does Dave Capuano of Maine. Dave playing defense there, almost knocked it free. Now Beers gets it up softly to David Capuano. He had a chance to break Corkum, but just fired it out instead. Corkum with a hit on Hosick at center ice. And play will be stopped. After that collision, we'll have a face-off coming up with 13:56 to go in the third period, and Lake Superior leading Maine 4-3.
Maine playing very well there on man short situation.
It killed off just about half of the penalty to Dave Wensley. As you look at Jack Capuano, the junior captain from Cranston, Rhode Island, named first team All-American today.
Congratulations to Jack.
That was really nice. His brother Dave also first team, Mike McHugh, and Mike Golden, second team. And surprise, a rebound loose in front. And great recovery by King as he dodged the bullet, as I was just about to say. I'm surprised Scott King was not picked as an All-American. 4-3, Lake Superior continues to lead Maine. I'm still surprised. He's had a great year. At the blue line, brought in. Now on the left side, Johnston. He's in deep. Lake Superior on the power play. Loose puck in behind the net, swept away by Weinrich. Knocked away from him, though, again. And Dowd plays it around behind. Lake Superior still going. Dowd swept away by Weinrich. Eric Weinrich, a one-man wrecking crew behind that. That's David Capuano. Will break. Almost a chance for a 2-on-1, but Corkum slipped. David comes in anyway. Knocked off his stick by Lake Superior's Hosick. And the Lakers will come up. Hosick tries to trip Dave Capuano. He swept at him with his stick. Couldn't do it. A shot and a save by King. The penalty to Wensley is over. Maine's killed it off. Bob Beers around for Wensley. Let's see if that gives Maine a lift. 12:50 left in the third. 4-3. Lake Superior leads Maine. Dyer over the line. Knocked away. He recovers. Tries to come back for Wensley. It goes behind him. Beers with a check on Dyer. Controls the puck and knocks it in deep. Big play by Bob Beers. Third up on the right side, though, and this time Jablonski will bring it out. Passes back into the main end. King will come out and play it. Up along the side for Thayer. Lalonde's got it with Wensley. 2-on-1. Lalonde down the left side in. To Wensley. In front. Knocked off the play. Loose puck. To Beers. Cleared in. Wide. Dyer's got it. Dyer will bring it up around the side and out. Dyer sends it all the way down. Icing will be waved off, and King will play it. Scott King leaves for Vince Guidotti, who's checked by Houston in there hustling hard. Houston knocked down. Recovers. Loose puck along the board. Studnicka. Jenkins down the right. To the middle. Jenkins flips up. Stands up. Jenkins. Studnicka. Around. In front. Shoots. Save. Rebound. Trickles in on goal. And Harford covers up. Maine's best chance to tie since they cut it to 1.
We finally did get Vermetto. It's about time he did get number 23, the way he's been throwing that stick around.
Vermette is headed apparently out. Yes, he is, but so is Jim Burke. Met is angry. He's a great player, but the word physical would certainly apply, and some other adjectives perhaps too.
Great job by Tim Burke here in front of the net.
Tied up a couple of players. Puck just happened to bounce right for Hoffer at that time. Last time it went the other way, and Mike Golden put it in the top of the net. Jim Burke. He's really done a great job playing defense forever. And then all of a sudden, Eric Weinrich comes back. He loses his job, and they say, play forward, Jim.
Boy, he really has. He really has done a marvelous job.
Not an easy adjustment. Also, just the way he took it was great.
That's the big point, I think, right there, Phil.
Never said a bad word about Eric Weinrich coming back. Just glad to have the fine player back to make the team better. That's the attitude. 4-3, Lake Superior leads Maine 4-on-4 for 2 minutes with 11:49 to go in the third period. The Lakers have it. Cord Cernich around, sends it out to center ice. Jack Capuano breaks it up, gets it to McHugh. Now Golden. Right Golden in, shoots just wide. He blasted that one. And it passed the goalie. It just went a little wide. He came out and cut down the angle, Harper did. Now in come the Lakers. To the middle to Carl, throws it in front, loose near the goal. Jack Capuano comes in, pokes it away from Cernich. Comes back to Carl. He'll come in. Knocked off his stick by Weinrich. Boy, Weinrich is playing well. Now McHugh. McHugh through center ice, down the right side. Checked off the play by Renser. Now Golden in there as McHugh's knocked down. Penalty coming up. It'll be on Lake Superior. 11:08 to go in the third period. 4-3, Lake Superior leads Maine. A penalty coming up and a big one when we return to Lake Placid in 30 seconds.
From recreational vehicles to family transportation and heavy equipment, Darling's Rebuilding Division experienced professionals keep Maine people on the go. Because they're specialists, Darling staff keeps your equipment downtime to a minimum. From machining crankshafts to boring blocks or completely rebuilding engines, Darling's professionals are ready to serve you when you need service the most. Darling's also stocks its own in-house line of rebuilt engines for most domestic cars and light trucks. Darling's Rebuilding Division, 1193 Hammond Street, Bangor.
We're back at Lake Placid. Maine going on a 4-on-3 power play for 1:17. Looking to tie this game as you look at the action that caused the penalty called against Lake Superior's Dan Kesmer. Off the draw. Taken by the Lakers. 1:13 left on the two-man advantage. Brought in over the line as Chapladane controls. He'll dump it in, and Maine will collect it to start out. Dave Capuano slips up in his own zone with a forechecker on him. Got it off, though. Taken away by Stauber. Stauber sets up, clears it all the way down. 53 seconds left on the two-man advantage. 1:33 now on the power play. Dave Capuano. Brought in over the line by Dave Capuano. He's checked, recovers, though. Throws it back in the middle for Jack. His brother winds up, shoots, save, rebound. Back to Jack Capuano at the right side. A 4-on-3 power play for Maine. Jack and David switch places. Jack to David. He's got plenty of room. Back to Jack. Jack winds up. He'll shoot. Trickles just wide. Dyer there in the corner. Back to Dave Capuano. Poked off his stick and through by Palumbo. 20 seconds left on the first pair of penalties. Up and over it with, it is Wensley. Half a step offside. It's so hard to do, isn't it, Mike, with that puck coming to hold that blue line and still stay on side. It almost never works.
What do they call that word, eager?
Sean Walsh's club down by a goal, but in a good spot here. They have a 4-on-3 power play for another 16 seconds. 59 seconds left on their power play altogether, as the matching penalties will expire in 16 seconds.
So if you notice the way that Lake Superior played that 4-on-3 situation, they're very willing to give up that shot up around the blue line the way Hopper has been playing.
And one almost went in. Jack Capuano shot it and hit somebody and trickled wide of the goal. And Hopper didn't have it.
They're definitely putting a little extra behind those shots.
The Capuano brothers can shoot, no question about it, especially David. Wow. Guy Perron and over the line. Sets up at the right point. Flips it up high to get it over to Dave Nonis. A smart play by Perron. Nonis will collect it. The first penalties are over. Weinrich shoots. Broken up just wide. Mike McHugh in the right wing corner. That's two in a row that have just bounced wide. Lake Superior looking for a face-off in there. Johnston will get it. A very quick whistle with 33 seconds left on the penalty. Maine with the power play and the face-off in the Lake Superior zone. So the last thing they want right now is any more tussles. 9:41 to go in the third period. Lake Superior up by a goal. The winner headed to the national championship game. Weinrich, Mike, just blasted it.
Definitely a very effective shot. Anytime you can take that shot off the pass, surprise that goaltender, you're going to increase your chances of scoring that goal.
They call it a one-timer.
Very well put.
Some funny vocabulary in this game. They'll do the face-off again. It's to the left of the freshman Hoffert. He's played very well, no question about that. As you look at Ken Martell, he's a 5'11" junior from Hacienda Heights, California. Two Californians on this Lake Superior team. Off the face-off, it goes back to Chapdelaine. He's broken up by Golden. Three Maine players in there. Golden gets it to Dave Capuano. Maine on the power play, trailing by a goal. David halfway down across to his brother Jack at the left point. Quickly Golden. Jack Capuano again for Weinrich. Holding. David Capuano skates in, shoots, save. Rebound, McHugh in the right wing corner. 7 seconds left on the power play. Dave Capuano. McHugh behind, in front, hit the side of the net with it. Golden right there. 1 second left. The penalty's over. Jack Capuano gets it, shoots it, wide of the net. David Capuano behind the goal, whips it in front. No one there. And it will be broken out by the Lakers. Gesmer down the middle with it. Gets it to Palumbo, who's in. Poked off his stick by Weinrich. Palumbo dumps it back in deep. Good job of penalty killing by Lake Superior. Some good chances for Maine. They didn't get one, though. Lots of time left. 8:48. They're down by 1. Corkum around to the left wing corner. He's tied up. Halfway down, dumps it in deep for Bruce Major. Wensley behind the net, throws it in front. No one there. Back to Eric Weinrich at the right point. He'll shoot. Tipped by Major, but didn't go anywhere. Johnston will break it out. Johnston in, down the right side. He'll shoot, scores!
I tell you, he couldn't have put that puck in any better of a place.
5-3, Lake Superior with 8:27 to go. Tough goal to give up. We've noticed that he has a good shot, Mike.
There's no question about that. You know, and even though the shot was out 5 or 10 feet inside the blue line, boy, that shot on the ice and right inside that post is almost an impossible stop for Scott King.
Carl Johnston will get it. That's just his 7th of the season. He's a freshman. What a big goal for him. 8:27 to go.
You know, it's a funny thing about this game because you look down on the other end. Maine had some very good scoring chances, and Lake Superior comes down one shot on net and they score the goal.
Todd Jenkins stops before the blue line. Now Burke will tip it in. Kesmer right there. He'll fire it around the boards. Notice at the left point will keep it in. Works it ahead, broken up though and cleared. And here they come again with a 3-on-2. Harris down the right side. Swept away by Nonis. He gets some help. Beers, though, will break it up as Jablonski went to the front. Now Jenkins. Jenkins down the right wing. Cuts to the middle. Behind the play, we've got a couple of players tangled up. And there will certainly be some penalties called here as Dean Dyer and Todd Studnicka collide and go down. They'll both go off, so there will be some more open ice here with 8:02 to go. And Lake Superior leading Maine 5-3 in the NCAA semifinal game. Action from Lake Placid, New York. In the Final Four. First time either one of these hockey programs has had a team at the Final Four. The other two semifinalists, St. Lawrence and Minnesota, have pretty good traditions here, especially Minnesota. St. Lawrence had several teams come in here, but none since 1962. 2 minutes up on the penalty clocks on the scoreboard above each team. Dean Dyer, a freshman from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and Todd Studnicka, a senior from Chatham, Ontario, will each go off for 2 minutes.
Well, I think right now the best thing that a lot of those guys down in that Maine bench can be doing is thinking positive. You got 8 minutes to go in this ball game. They've had some very good chances here in the last 4 or 5 minutes, and as long as they think positive and continue to work hard, they have a lot to look forward to.
Chapdelaine clears it in wide of the main goal. Stop behind the net by King for Weinrich. Eric Weinrich with it. Dave Capuano cuts to the middle. Handling it. Great move. Gets in. Shoots. Broken up by the defense and cleared. A chance for a break. Dowd down the right side. He'll stop. Gets in. On King. Shoots. Scores. Great move by Jim Dowd, his second goal of the game. And it's 6-3. Lake Superior leads Maine with 7:35 to go.
Tell you, that was one beautiful move by the player from Lake Superior State, Dowd. He's got Eric Weinrich working very hard to come back. Thinking to take a shot. Makes another excellent move on Scott King for the goal.
6-3. The Sioux Lakers jump up on top of Maine with 2 quick goals after the Bears had cut it to 4-3, and with 7:35 to go, it's a big uphill battle for Maine. Hosick of Lake Superior clears it in around the boards. Up on the right side to Carl. Dumps it back in. Guy Perron. Check back there. Loose puck behind the net. Dug out by DeCarl. DeCarl comes to the left side with it. Halfway down, Jack Capuano bumps him. Comes away to Palumbo. Palumbo works it back ahead. Looking for DeCarl. DeCarl's got it. Sets up behind the net. Palumbo goes to the front. DeCarl throws it through the crease. Back at the right side, Johnston. Sends it in. Jack Capuano. Sets up. 6:56 to go in the game. 6-3, Lake Superior. DeCarl sends it in wide. Bangs hard off the boards. Cleared by Perron. Guy Perron to the middle with it. Over the line. He'll shoot wide. Off the end. Taken by Harris. He's hit by Perron. Johnston's got it. Spins away from Mike Golden. Carl Johnston. Jablonski. Skates in over the blue line with it. He'll shoot wide of the Black Bear goal. Tim Harris in the right wing corner. Hit by Nonis. Recovers, though. Keeps going. Nonis wants to tie him up. Time ticking away. 6:22 to go in the third period. 6-3, Lake Superior. Bears knocks a man down. Comes away to Golden. Up ahead, it goes behind Nonis. Nonis will come out with McHugh. Nonis, they try to tie him up, but he keeps going. Dave Nonis, great work to Golden. Golden shoots, broken up by a sliding defender. Cord Cernich, rather, and it comes out to center ice. Beers for McHugh. Tips it in. Cernich intercepts, clears it away. Dyer down the middle. Leaves. Broken up by Guidotti. Golden's got it. To Guidotti. Guidotti in. Down the right side. The right circle, now to the corner. Jeff Delane hit him. Guidotti and McHugh there. McHugh bumped off the play by Jeff Delane. And here comes Martell. Out to center ice. Dyer picks it off and whips it back in. 5:35 to go. 6-3, Lake Superior. Out to center ice. Guidotti has it taken off his stick. And it's brought in down the right side. A shot goes wide from Craig Hewson. And off the boards, it comes out to center. An attempt by Lalonde to knock Hosick off the play. He goes over Hosick. And it's cleared back into the main end again. Weinrich to Dave Capuano. Now Lalonde. Hewson. Hosick. Checks by Lalonde. Checked by Lalonde. They both fall down. Lalonde now battles with Hewson. Breslin comes in along with Weinrich. And Lalonde sticks her up. And more as Lalonde has Hewson pinned against the bench. And we'll have some more penalties called to be sure. Lots of angry people. Go 6-3 here. Leads Maine. We'll be back to Lake Placid. The NCAA semifinal.
Great. The Woodrow W. Cross Agency has 30 years experience in insurance planning. We know how to save you money on your insurance. Whatever you own, whatever service you provide, anything you can name, we can insure at a price that may surprise you. We know how to save you money on your insurance, and we use that knowledge. We're the Woodrow Cross Agency in Bangor. Give us a call. We can use our size and experience to give you your best insurance value.
Christian Lalonde certainly had it off for Maine. 5:04 left.
Well, I definitely think you can say, after watching almost 3 complete periods of play, that Mr. Galupo, if my pronunciation is right, referee from the ECAC, believe it or not, has let quite a bit of physical play take place here tonight.
And it certainly hasn't helped Maine, which is not to say that it's a factor in the game.
Oh, no question about that. I think on both sides of the red line here, everybody's had their fair shake.
5:04 left. Maine down by 3. Christian Lalonde is off. Jack Capuano over there in a discussion along with Lake Superior captain. Jack Capuano will also go off.
I would think we'll probably see 3-on-3. We'll have to wait for the announcements, but
I would think that's a situation that we're going to have here.
The Lake Superior penalty box door is still open as well. Teams have scored 3 goals in 5 minutes before. So there's still some hockey left to go. We'll see what happens. But the Bears are in a big, big hole right now. What a move by Dowd, huh, Mike?
No question about it, you know, and you know, you look back at a lot of the pregame hype and question and answer periods, and that's just a great move on the part of Dowd. And you hear you know, hear a lot of people talk about the general consensus of Lake Superior being a big physical and sometimes lacking individual skill. And well, I'll tell you, they haven't been lacking any individual skill here tonight.
That's for sure. Some beautiful goals. They're up 6-3, and they've earned this lead.
And I will say one thing here. You know, we talk about the game, but I think the one person that we have failed to mention in turning forth a pretty good effort in terms of Lake Superior State is their number 30 in the goal crease there, Bruce Hopper.
Sure has. Some nice saves at big times, too. Standing room only in the main penalty box. Eric Weinrich is in there, Jack Capuano, Christian Lalonde, Mike McHugh and Dave Nonis still in the discussion. Over there with Anthony Palumbo of Lake Superior and the referee. They're sorting this all out.
I believe there's a lot of time left in this ball game. We saw 2 goals scored in 3 minutes right when this game opened up, and I'll tell you, when we get their quick goal, Maine can get a quick goal for themselves. They'll have themselves a ball game here.
Dave Capuano over there too, involved in the talks. Really, just about everybody was involved. Everybody was on the ice anyway. Vince Guidotti is on the bench. He's apparently avoided being called for a penalty. He was certainly a factor in that. It's hard from so close for a referee to see everything that's going on when everything is happening all of a sudden around him like that. Frank Anzalone, Lake Superior coach, well, tip your hat to him so far.
He's got to be very pleased with the play of his youngsters. When I say youngsters, they're not too much younger than myself, are they,
right.
Joe?
Not too bad, not too bad. Although these guys are pretty young, a lot of freshmen. Dowd has scored a goal tonight, 2 goals rather. He's a freshman. Carl Johnston, a freshman, has a goal. The other 2 scored by Mike DeCarl, he's a junior, and Bruce Hoppert, a freshman, in the net. So
very impressive set of troops he's put together for himself.
These guys don't seem to mind the Final Four pressure a bit.
He reacted extremely well, that's for sure.
What does this delay do to this game?
Well, I think it's going to give, on the part of Maine, a lot of those players a little bit of time to sit down and think that what this 5 minutes and 4 seconds means to their season. And basically, they're going to have to realize they're going to have to go out and work very hard. On the other side of the coin there, you got Lake Superior State. I think they're looking back. They're going to have to let things settle down a little bit. And I think when you talk about this, a little bit to their advantage.
Both coaches still working very hard, getting things going with their players, getting things adjusted and organized. They're still sorting out the penalties. Now, 3 players from each team will be in the box. No, 4 Maine players are in there. I'm sorry, Dave Capuano has gone in. Maine band on hand here today, and lots of Maine fans are still enjoying this. Some cheerleaders.
Well, they've had themselves a very enjoyable season.
They sure have.
As a bystander.
Every player on the team will credit the fans for some of this success, too.
No question.
They all say that really made a difference, especially at home. Last weekend was amazing with Bowling Green, as you know.
Very impressive, very impressive. And as a matter of fact, I had a chance to sit down and talk with some of the Bowling Green people, and they were very impressed, not only with the fans, but with the facility and the type of style game that Maine did play over the weekend.
Well, they're starting to line some stuff up on the penalty box, rather on the penalty clock on the scoreboard. Dave Capuano's got 4 minutes next to his name. Eric Weinrich's number is up there. Jack Capuano's also in, so is Christian Lalonde. At any rate, we'll be playing 3-on-3 for a while. Mike McHugh will be out there, so will Mike Golden, so will Dave Nonis. So 3 real good skaters for Maine. With this room, Stauber, Martell, and Chapdelaine. Out for Lake Superior. 6-3, the Lakers lead Maine, 5:04 to go. A spot in the NCAA championship game on the line. Weinrich and Lalonde also will get 4 minutes each. No room up there for Jack Capuano's number. For Lake Superior, Carl Johnston gets 4 minutes. Mike DeCarl gets 4 minutes. And number 10, Terry Hosick, gets 4 minutes. And they also have a fourth player in the box. Lots of room, 5:04 to go. And Maine down by 3 goals at 6-3. Lots of work to be done here. Notice gets it to Golden. Mike Golden skating through center ice, down the left side. Shot the lane on him. Golden around the net. Keeps going. Mike Golden to the right side. Sets up, fires it in for McHugh. McHugh in the corner. He's checked there. Works it back in deep. None of his teammates can recover it. And it will be cleared ahead and out by the Lakers. Scott King out of the net. For Nonis. 4:30 left. 6-3, Lake Superior. Golden circling. Nonis now. Leaves for McHugh. Mike McHugh over the blue line and in. McHugh makes a move, goes around the net. McHugh checked off the play. Good play. Cernich up to get it. Mario Thayer. He's in the battle there. Nonis comes in, centers, no one there. And it will be cleared away by Lake Superior's Cord Cernich. 4:07 to go. Cernich winds up, fires, save made by Scott King, but Lake Superior's offside. And Pete Stauber's angry with somebody as he heads off to the bench. Almost looks like he's angry at Cernich, doesn't it? Mike, he was looking at him.
A bit. No, I think, anytime you have a 2-on-1 or almost a 2-on-1 situation, you'd hope for a little bit better chance than a shot from the blue line.
4:05 to go. 6-3, Lake Superior leading Maine in the NCAA semifinal from Lake Placid, New York. Check the lane to Martel. Martel clears it in around the board. Stopped by King. To Guidotti. Mario Thayer. He's checked. Upended at the blue line. Guidotti for Maine. Circles back. Has it poked off his stick and back into the zone by Palumbo. Anthony Palumbo from Sioux, Ontario. He's a junior. Perron loses it in his skates. Palumbo's got it. 3:35 left in the game. Mario Thayer around the net, and he'll start up with it. Out with Guidotti and Perron. Thayer puts a move on, cuts right, brings it in. Mario Thayer backhands it for Guidotti, poked off his stick, and here comes Kresner. Down the left side, he's in, cuts in front, shoots, save, King, rebound, knocked wide. Thayer for Maine. 3:10 to go. Maine needs a goal a minute now to tie this game. Vince Guidotti for Corkum. Corkum circling in the neutral zone. Now Dave Wensley over the line. Sets up, top of the circle for Corkum. Corkum back to Wensley in the middle. Throws it in front. Broken. back to Wensley. Throws it in front, broken up. Wensley comes in, shoots it wide. Penalty coming up. It'll be on Lake Superior. King is out, McHugh on the ice. An extra skater, McHugh in front, throws it through the crease and wide. Beers back to get it. 2:40 to go. Maine down by 3. McHugh for Beers. Back to McHugh. McHugh cuts left with it. Overskates it, touched up, and it will be cleared away by the Lakers, and we'll have the penalty call. We'll stay 3-on-3. 2:31 to go. A minute 27 left on the first sets of penalties.
Mike McHugh getting a little over anxious there with the puck.
And going off will be Cord Cernich. This is from Anchorage, Alaska. It's an area where hockey is getting more and more popular and programs are getting better. Several players on the Alaska, Anchorage and Alaska Fairbanks teams were from Alaska.
Yeah, they've been, those programs have been progressing very well over the last couple of years, and I think you're going to see them becoming more of a dominant type team. Of course, the only disadvantage that they do have to deal with, of course, is their geographical location.
Mario Thayer along with Bob Corkum and Dave Nonis out there. Mike Golden. And the Black Bears will have 4 skaters to 3 for Lake Superior with 2:31 to go. Maine down by 3, 6-3. Dave Nonis for Golden. Golden, check, gets it back though to Nonis. Maine's net is empty. Dave Nonis down the left side, he'll bring it in. Nonis has it knocked away from him and cleared back into the Maine end. Bob Corkum will go back to get it, and that will be an icing call. Face off back in the Lake Superior zone. So Sean Walsh has, of course, pulled out the stops, taken the goalie out in favor of another skater, and he really might as well. 2:12 left.
Yeah, you really don't have much to lose at this point, as they say.
Mario Thayer will take the face-off against Anthony Palumbo. The championship game is played here Saturday night against the winner of the St. Lawrence, Minnesota game. There is a consolation game at 1:30 Saturday. Face-off coming up to the right of Bruce Hoffert. Lake Superior's goaltender. Puck loose in the circle. Thayer back on the point. Golden holds it. Nonis being pressured. Back to Golden. Thayer in front. Broken up. It'll be covered up. And a good play there by Palumbo. That will cause another face-off. Thayer was looking in front to get it to Corkum. But Palumbo went down on the ice and blocked it and covered it.
Great defensive play on the part of Palumbo there.
Not only to stop the play, but then to hang on to the loose puck. That really made the difference. Face-off in the Lake Superior zone. Maine's net is empty. They're down by 3. 2:01 left in the game. I've seen 2 goals scored in a minute in a playoff game, the last minute. So if Maine can get one, they'll be in a position to do that.
This game
doesn't happen every day, though.
That's for sure, but I'll tell you, a lot of strange things happen, and I've seen my share.
Chapdelaine around the boards all the way down into the Maine end. Wensley will go back in after it. That will be another icing call. That doesn't hurt Lake Superior a bit. Kills off 4 or 5 seconds at a time.
Yep.
They're a smart team, obviously well coached.
Very well disciplined, and I was just making a comment to myself here that you look at their defensive core and their offensive core, and they don't have their big dominant player as some of these other, let's say for Minnesota, St. Lawrence, or even Maine for that matter. They're a very consistent team.
Off the face-off, back to Dave Nonis, to the left point. Comes in, Maine pulling out the stops now. Golden winds up, shoots, save, rebound. Thayer had a shot at it, couldn't come up with it. It's in the corner, though. Mike McHugh digs it out to Golden. Nonis quickly back to Golden. Golden slap shot, faked a slap shot rather, to Thayer. Good fake, I guess. Back to Golden. Golden holding. Nonis, left circle. Chapdelaine on him. Back to Golden. Skates in. Fires wide. Off the end boards. It goes high in the air and comes down behind the net. Thayer to Nonis beside the goal. Dave Nonis trying to keep pressure on. Golden comes up and plays it. Off into the right wing corner. 1:13 left. Thayer to the circle. Cuts in front. Passes across. Broken up. Cleared off to the sideboard. 6-3 Lake Superior. 1:05 left. Nonis to Thayer. Thayer fakes the shot. Back to Nonis. Across to Golden in the left wing corner. Halfway down the boards. Back to Nonis in the middle. 3 defenders doing a great job. Golden to Nonis. 50 seconds to go. Nonis winds up, shoots, deflected wide. Thayer's got it beside the net. Maine keeping the puck in the zone, but Lake Superior defenders and goaltender doing the job. Nonis at the left side. 40 seconds left. Nonis in the circle to Thayer. Thayer in wide. Golden can't get it. He'll clear it back at the point to Dave Nonis. Nonis at the circle. Cuts in. Back to Thayer. In the middle. Thayer comes in front. Backhand. Save made. Rebound. Cleared away to Thayer to right circle. 20 seconds to go. Nonis shoots it in wide. McHugh there. Decked. And it will be covered up for a face-off. In the Lake Superior zone with 17 seconds to go. 6-3, Lake Superior will go to the national championship game against either Minnesota or St. Lawrence on Saturday night.
Well, you certainly have to take your hats off to this team in purple and gold because they played themselves one heck of a ball game.
Well, they were down 2-0 3 minutes into the game, too, and it really didn't look good for them at all.
That's what makes good teams. That ability, that dedication, and you know, you look at the way they played. They all played with that personal type sacrifice in terms of sacrificing their body. They went into the corners hard. They worked hard up and down the ice, and that is exactly what wins national championships. They worked hard up and down the ice, and that is exactly what wins national championships, Joe.
They'll certainly have a shot against either St. Lawrence or Minnesota. They're a team to be dealt with very seriously. Very, very good. Eric Weinrich at the left point with 10 seconds left. In beside the net. David Capuano shoots, hit the post. Rebound back to the point. David's got it again. He'll wind up. He'll shoot. Save made. In front. 2 seconds left, and that's it. The dream of a national championship comes to an end for the Maine Black Bears and their fans here at Lake Placid in the Final Four. Certainly disappointing. No, many people, but hard to call this season a disappointment in any way.
No question, no question. You look at the youth of this program and the great amount of success that they've had in a short time, and you look back and you have to congratulate them, take your hats off to these guys because they've worked awful hard. And believe me, you know, 1 year it takes a couple of bad bounces of the puck here and there, and it turns the season. But by no means have we seen the end of Maine hockey.
That's for sure.
As you can imagine.
And there will be another game, of course, the consolation game. It's a tough thing to play in, but still you can finish up your season on a good note by winning that game and taking third. Third in the country isn't bad with 50-something programs.
No question. I think, you know, the important thing they have to look at from the losing side of this game is the fact that these guys can say, hey, we worked hard. We played our game. We just got beat by a better team than us tonight. They worked hard. They got a couple bounces. And, you know, there's not much more you can say to yourself.
Things went well. Maine eliminated a team last week, so they're just the opposite side of the coin tonight. And only one team can win the national championship. And I think that St. Lawrence has certainly earned the respect of all the Maine players and fans tonight. And maybe surprised a few people around college hockey. So I don't know. I guess it would certainly be fair to say that Maine was the favorite in this game. And a tough thing for them. A tough label to have on you, but they had it, and Lake Superior was able to win under those circumstances. So our congratulations to them. Once again, the final score, Lake Superior 6 and Maine 3. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
To find out what's behind a tire company, you have to get inside the people.
A tire should be balanced when it's first put on the vehicle, brand new, and then it ought to be checked about every 8,000 to 10,000 miles as the tires are rotated.
If you feel it in the steering wheel, it's normally a front tire that's out of balance.
Whether it be in the steering wheel, or the seat, or the rear view mirror, it's time to take it to a professional. That's how it is at A.J. Cole Tire. We're not satisfied until the customer is. Service is only as good as the people that provide it.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets. It feels good. So right.
If you go for what's real, you want a beer that's not heat pasteurized, not tampered with. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets.
Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, 3 hot new Pontiacs you can buy for under $10,000 at your Maine Pontiac dealers. That's right, under $10,000, but that's not the best part. If you qualify as a first-time buyer, that is, you've never financed a new car before, your Pontiac dealer will give you $600 towards your down payment, $600 towards your new Grand Am, Sunbird, or Le Mans. Sticker price under $10,000, these are 3 of Pontiac's hottest values at your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Welcome back to Lake Placid, New York. Maine has lost the NCAA semifinal round game to Lake Superior State. The final score is 6-3, so the Bears will be in the consolation game on Saturday. We'll be on WYOU radio in the Bangor area, WJBQ radio in southern Maine with the pregame before that show at 1:15 on Saturday afternoon. The Maine Black Bears will play either St. Lawrence or Minnesota, depending on who loses tomorrow night's semifinal round. So the Maine Black Bears' chance for a national championship comes to a halt tonight at Lake Superior, but at Lake Placid against Lake Superior. But still, as we mentioned, a great season for the Black Bears and a chance to go out with their heads held high on a winning note in that consolation game on Saturday. Lake Superior, Mike, just really played a good game, and they earned this win.
Oh, they sure did. And again, I look at the, and you mentioned it yourself, Joe, that you talk about the youth of this team. I'll tell you, I did not see any youth that was demonstrated out on that ice surface tonight. Some of these players played a very strong game, and as I said before, I can't say enough about the effort that Bruce Hofford put forth for his team tonight.
The final 57 minutes of the game, 6-1 after that 2-goal lead, so they really dominated the game from that point on.
There's no question, and you look at the latter part of the second period, even in the second period, the University of Maine put some serious pressure on the Lake Superior State net, and Mr. Hofford came through with a great performance.
Well, that will do it anyway. 6-3, the final score. Once again, Lake Superior beats Maine. The Black Bears play in the consolation game on Saturday afternoon against either St. Lawrence or Minnesota, and we wish the best of luck to Lake Superior in the NCAA championship game on Saturday night. I'd like to thank you again, Mike Piette, for helping us out tonight. We really appreciate you making the effort and hope you enjoyed yourself.
My pleasure, Joe.
So for Mike Piette and our entire production crew, I'm Joe Carr. Thanks for joining us from Lake Placid. Have a good night, everybody.